All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to kind of my first live stream in this format. Today we are having a look at the entire T1 match. Now, for anyone who knows LCK, you know there have been two T1 versus Gen G matches. We're gonna watch the latter one. You should go ahead and watch the first one as well if you are interested in the full series, but we today are just going to go through the first one, the second one, which is the deciding one, and it is, as the stream is called, the finals. So, I'm gonna have to see where I position myself, but I think we'll figure that out as we go. So let me just unmute.
We're here to see it live. T1 will select the blue side here for game number one. They did have side selection. This has been a bit of a hot topic between us. I don't personally know which side is necessarily stronger. I feel like T1...
Yeah, so T1 gets the side selection here because they are the winner's bracket team, right? It's very important. And now we have a Zeri ban, followed up by the Annie ban here. Of course. Yeah, Zeri currently very contested AD carry, just as the Lucian is. Lucian specifically a combo, a little bit of a bread and butter combo here of Guma and Carrier. So absolutely scary combo. And it does make sense to get rid of that in my opinion. Now, then the answer to the Lucian ban is going to be the Vi ban, and we are moving way too fast. So the answer is going to be the Vi ban here, which I find very interesting, as that obviously does kind of squish the jungler pool here of Doran, and I would love to know why exactly we are interested in exactly getting out the Vi out of this. Then, of course, we have one of the great answers. Oh, great. One of the acceptable answers here banned away. So we can focus a little bit on the top lane. And the Jace is going to be first picked, which basically tells us that it is a flex pick, right? But tells us already kind of a theme, the poke-heavy theme that is possible. So now the team of Gen G is going to start thinking about things like Ezreal and so on. We're also going to get rid of the Elise here. And I think the Elise actually a bit of an answer here to the whole theme that could be going on here with the Vi as well. Very interesting that we don't see things like the Lissandra ban, like the Gragas ban. We might see those in stage 2. Also very interesting that we don't see a Caitlyn ban. That one is a little bit surprising to me, but yeah, we're going to see how this one goes. So right now we are picking the Jace. Of course, you don't really know whether or not Jace is going to be a top or a mid laner. Very playable, and Faker does play it in the mid lane quite, you know, often in solo queue, so you can definitely expect it. As now Gen G gets to lock in their first combo. It's going to be the Xayah and the Rakan here. So kind of already telling you what the theme is going to be for the bot lane. Now leaving Guma, Yushi, and Carrier open to counter draft this bot lane, which I think is a very dangerous one. But yeah, we're picking the Varus here now. Immediately an Ashe support would be absolutely amazing and fit with the Carrier. And then Wukong gets locked in here for Peanut, which I think is very good, that they are squishing Peanut's champion pool a little bit. He doesn't have the biggest one, and with Sejuani being selected here as well, there really isn't a lot of champions that Peanut would love to pick. I think Wukong is a pretty good one then. Beautiful face tab. Alright. I am looking forward to this one. So here we see the Malphite getting banned out. This is of course a really good answer into the Jace, just as the cannon can be as well. And then for Gen G, of course, we have the Lissandra ban and we have the Tahm Kench gotten rid of. Now, ooh, very interesting. So we're gonna see the Veigar here in the mid lane. Of course, a reasonable answer to the Ahri. can be very good, but also can be a little bit rough to play, and of course doesn't get a lot of priority and a lot of ability to impact the game. So definitely more of a carry type pick. Now with the Kalista, we kind of have a long range Tahm Kench here for the Varus, but we are going to go for the Nautilus instead. Very interesting. But I'm also not sure that I'm not sure that Nautilus is necessarily the pick that you want to pick here into the Doran and into the Xayah and into the Rakan, because I don't know. I'm personally, I would have loved to see a Varus in, yeah, would see a Varus and a Kalista, but it seems like this is going to be just the AD carry Varus with Nautilus here. Veigar could have been a pretty amazing switch here. And, yeah, I mean, the AP Varus is not going to be strong enough. But that is absolutely not the correct screen. Yeah, I'm not... I don't know what to think about this one. Oh, no. Don't trip, mate.
Grab early objectives in gold, and they'll outplay you in cross maps even in the early game. And drafting for team fight against a team that will always have the leads in the mid game is such a terrifying prospect, but it's what Genji's opted into for this red side game 1 draft.
Yeah, Bengi going on a little bit of a journey before finally bowing to score.
I love how they're making fun of it. All right, let's go forward, jump into the game, as of course we don't really want to waste a lot of time. So let's have a look. Seems like there have been no... Let's see. Yeah, no invade shenanigans really. We are just...
Here in the LCK, because we finally got a lower bracket, so I get to say grand final. I always say it. I always say grand final, but it's never been correct.
It's been grand every time.
It has been grand. It has been a grand final, used as an adjective, but it hasn't actually been a grand final, you know, the noun.
Technically correct is the best kind of correct, Atlas. So,
all right. So immediately, of course, we have to note a couple of things, right? We want to figure out where the junglers are starting and what exactly the clear pattern is. From that, we can deduct what the priorities are here around the map. But of course, like usually, you would expect this to be pretty much just a focus onto the bottom lane here. So we will see whether or not that is actually the case.
Obviously is not going to be going into the lethality variant with Comet with the support that he has opted into here in the Nautilus. So it is going to be more auto-attacking on hit. Zeus is going to come over here at level 1 and push Peanut.
Alright, so this is definitely a very, very good answer here out of Zeus. Just messing with Peanut just a little bit. Now we're going to see Owner path into that. And Owner doesn't have a smite available. Thinks of dueling the Wukong here, but Wukong, of course, is going to hit that level 2. So going to get that Warrior Trickster clone now. We see a flash out of Owner. The flashes are traded here. Of course, first move priority actually acquired by Faker, as Peanut is going to stun himself inside of the cage. And that is a kill and a stack going down to Peanut. Or onto Peanut to Faker. Holy moly, that's... Ooh, that's really interesting. Alright, well, beautiful planned out early. I think that was just the communication, like, okay, guys, I got him off of blue buff. Alright, we can collapse on this, right? And then everyone was kind of prepared. Chovy, unfortunately not really able to move in there quick enough, of course, as Faker would just flash cage. And then, I mean, yeah, that was really, really rough. I understand why Peanut thought he could live, but unfortunately not able to. Nautilus, huh? I don't know, I feel like Carrier is a little bit wasted on something like the Nautilus. But, of course I understand. As, okay, Owner is going to not find Okay, is going to find the stun pretty late though, as Zeus going in for maximum damage here. But beautiful body slam, and Zeus barely not able to get that kill. Oh, that is really tragic here. Oh, that's so rough.
Actually goes into melee form. The body block comes through, the body slam from Doran, but he's got the range damage follow-up. But Doran plays it so well, gets that second stun, and turns this around. And suddenly, his top lane is...
that here was so rough, man.
Very important because if Gen G
Unbelievable.
also lost their top laner, Doran is put into a deficit, Zeus starts snowballing. I think the game very quickly becomes nigh unplayable. We know how good T1 is at pushing leads, but with Doran outplaying the 1v2, Zeus making a crucial mistake, overstepping, dying with his flash up as well. What we see instead is a top lane matchup where Doran, for all his faults, if he does get a lead, generally is able to hold on to it very, very nicely. And right here,
look at this, the body slam blocks him from the melee, but he's still got, of course, the transform to come over here and do the additional damage. Doran,
so here,
possible second flashes here, and then as the damage is trying to come...
yeah, Zeus could have just... Yeah, Zeus wasn't expecting that to kill him.
It was exactly the time it came off cooldown as well. Like, that was very close.
Zeus could have flashed it.
As well. Shout out to him for that. And he didn't have W, right? He went for 2 points in Q, so normally he would have had a little bit more health, could have used the resistance and maybe not taken quite as much. But I think that it actually helped him out because Zeus saw that health bar, was like, hey, I can pick this up for free, and got prompt.
Oh, that is so unlucky though.
Doran gonna be feeling a little bit better than he otherwise would. Zeus though also needs to not overstate. He picked up call, went back. He had to use his teleport, and will still be in a decent spot. But if that keeps happening, if Doran finds more outplays than we saw yesterday, how well Gen G played out his Gragas, T1 might be in trouble.
Yeah, an early game kill for Gragas isn't going to be lane changing. It's not going to guarantee him prio. But consider that we were going into this playoffs just in general saying Doran is going to struggle when he faces off against two players, Zeus and Keen, the two above him, of course, in All-Pro for Tom. Really delivered here.
That's actually a really big loss for Zeus here, as Gragas is going to be accelerated into the Catalyst of Ions here. That is actually pretty rough, man.
Going to bring up a conversation that we were kind of starting yesterday with this new format, with the fact that we had a best of 5 yesterday, that Gen G were able to win. I think the immediate assumption, as we might be interrupted here momentarily by a bit of an engage, Faker does have the cage ready.
It's not really possible to make a big play here. Yeah.
Going to walk it out, but Chicken's secured here by T1. But to go back to the thought,
Yeah, it's like Faker, of course, also trying to like extract as much value out of Vigar's early. You see that he's starting to play this very aggressive here.
into melee range against Chovy here, finds himself the burst of flag forward, but it's not going to quite
Oh, nice try, dude. Honestly, really good try, but unfortunately not enough.
He's laning real well today.
He would have looked really, really good. If he would have managed to get that one, he would have looked really good.
And even with a good sidestep there from Chovy, the damage is just too much.
And even with Chovy staying alive, what this gets T1 is a first Drake. Hextech Dragon gonna be given over here. As an individual Drake, obviously quite strong. Ability haste and attack speed are stats that anyone loves to get. And Base and the Light actually on the previous few
Oh, this is more stacks for the Vigar.
ahead of the Roam because they have actually been playing the lane out very well.
For the AP God.
Previously as well, when they were going for the invades, Gen G was ready to commit, knowing that their bot lane
Oh,
was on
very
the
good
ropes.
damage here by...
Okay, they're going to look to try and escape from this one. Flash out from Carrier as now Blade Caller not going to get the snare, but the Q is going to be...
Oh, that's actually a really big ultimate. It's a very good one. Oh my god, dude, how... Dude, Zeus is like on the freaking edge with this champion, dude.
And Zeus is now going to get control of this wave back.
Yeah, bottom lane going a lot better for Pays and Delight than it would have if we had seen
60, so he's like 10 CS advantage. I don't know if that is like enough to justify the pick right now. Because that means that he is technically technically like even.
We already know it's not going to be Hex Tech.
No, it was...
Lucian,
yeah,
Drake here. If they can stack
was in
two,
First Blood.
the Soul is going to be a big deal. What it ends up being here.
So he's
Gen G
evenish.
have a great team fighting composition.
Which is actually definitely not what you want
And the
as
more
Jace.
advantage T1 can get, the better. But as mentioned, as Odoran,
Yeah, looks for
Yeah, that's gonna be a flash. Very well played by Zeus here.
There's the return.
As...
No, Doran's gonna be able to make it out. He just walks it off. Walk it out. That is a beautiful.
But that's what I mean with like the Catalyst of Ions just being ridiculous in comparison to the basically non-existent stats that are available here to Zeus, and this is really bad because now Zeus has lost 2 opportunities in which he would accelerate otherwise. Now, Zeus is still Zeus, right? So his team fight impact is still, judging from past performance, is going to be very good. But that is definitely not what you want to see as a Jace player in general, because Gragas is going to be a real big issue now. You need to kind of dog him a little bit in order for him to be a relevant... In order for him not to be like a super big threat. But right now, especially to someone like the Varus, it's going to be pretty rough. Of course, can also introduce a lot of chaos here into the game for the Veigar. Also something that Veigar doesn't appreciate. Ari does though, so generally... If you think about the way that the team comps are going to be fighting here, it's going to be very difficult for Chovy to get anything done, to be perfectly honest. But conversely, I would also say that, I mean, It's kind of weird, because, like, played defensively, I think that Gen G's team is pretty scary. But there's just so much catch potential here by Faker and Guma. As actually Zeus is going to be caught out here. That is really scary. Will Zeus be able to get away? No, Peanut will be able to close that gap. Now, our owner is going to get the Faker support here. Yeah, I mean, the cage doesn't really do a lot. As actually the Nautilus ult is going to finish off Peanut. So never mind. It is also the correct Veigar build. So I think it's the first time I ever managed to catch a stream. Yeah, I mean, it's also like, I haven't streamed in a long time, Waster. So no worries. What's up, Ko Ying Chong? How you doing? Out on the YouTubes. Currently running 2 streams, which is why I'm responding to like both chats.
would have been a really easy play, but Peanut spent so much time.
Well, Chovy's going to have to use his cleanse pretty early on here. And switched over to that one with his unsealed spellbook, like many.
Dude, what a chaotic game though. So here the idea. Yeah, I mean, I think this is just a very, very good rotation here by Gen G. But then, of course, like, they are slightly disrespectful, because they could have gotten away here. We saw that, right? So that is kind of unfortunate. And then they were just, like, a little bit too greedy on the exit, I would say. But generally not a bad idea. And we can definitely see, like, there's a focus here to put down Zeus. I think that's a response to the fact that Zeus actually didn't get as far ahead as he should have and as he would have liked to. And if we can put him a little bit further behind, it's going to be very difficult for him to have a lot of impact. Because, of course, if those shock blasts don't do enough damage during the team fights, then he's not really able to find any angles to go in. So, we'll see. So, yeah, you got to be very careful with Chovy. And Dragon will go over to the red team. As of course, like, the dominance over the river has been established a long while ago at this point. And nothing really has changed about that one. But you still need to be very careful here. The Varus, not necessarily the scariest member of the team. But also has that ultimate that sets up into the Veigar cage. Veigar now will be able to get his Rod of Ages, which is very interesting. I think that's going to be a very good timing here. And Zeus is struggling so hard every single playoffs. Playoffs, finals, like every single time.
But in high pressure games in the past, he has sometimes looked somewhat out of sorts here. All starts with the charm.
Yeah.
Zeus also again going down with the flash.
Also something that that Chovy does, to be fair. But not in games like this. I think his threshold is a little bit higher. Chovy, lot more. Oh, such a beautiful redirect out of Chovy.
You know, Zeus here goes back in. He actually gets the knockback, which is pretty well played. It's the best he could have done there, but
What?
you know, Zeus here goes back in.
This champion 2 levels up as well.
And
you gotta respect it.
you know, Zeus here goes back in. He actually gets the knockback, which is pretty well played. It's the
What are they talking about?
best he could have done there, but flashing the initial charm would have been the play. Tough to waste your flash in a lane like this, though, considering the Spirit Rush will chase you down. And he opts not to use it, but now he's 0 and 3, and we were talking about the pressure he was putting on that top lane, grabbing that additional plate, but Chovy...
What the play there was E immediately instead of later and then flash away, not try to play it out. Chovy perfectly capitalized on it.
Strikes back in a big way, and if you don't dodge those, you're going to go down.
I don't think it's too much of an issue for T1 just yet. You can see they're still ahead in gold, and Plate Gold has gone to the Jace. He's got the most on his team, even with Chovy, of course, who is going to be a force to be reckoned with as well. But this mid-game, if it's not about T1 taking control with their huge range advantage, then Gen G, they can bide their time. And if Pays is playing like he was yesterday, he's pretty reliable when he's on a late-game carry like this.
That's mean. They're going to target him again.
Maybe.
Well, Owner is in a little bit of trouble. There's the charm. As in goes Delight. They are
Both of these
both
of these team comps are just able to set up CC chains for such a long time.
Now in a very comfortable position in this game. As a second Herald spawns here in 30 seconds.
That is a very
Owner
comfortable
doesn't have flash
position.
Just yet. No way to get out of this. And they're very comfortably in control of top side and mid. And yeah, Faker's going to be able to hold his own on the bottom side of the map. Doesn't have teleport set here. But Genji should be able to just group up and take this.
I mean, is he actually gonna be, though? I don't think he is. I think Gragas is actually, like, pretty good matchup versus him.
Has been looking like a veteran in how he's been able to take leads. The main issues for Genji ever arose when he falls behind in lane, which is something that in the early playoffs actually happened
no,
quite a lot.
Faker.
Reminds us of his
It's hard to dive Faker. We see a little bit of the priority here, of course. The problem is that Doran is a tanky boy.
This isn't really going to happen. It's not
But
realistic.
yeah.
So with a little bit of contest in mid here and Zeus wrestling back cryo of topside, it will in fact be T1 who take this Herald. Genji not willing to fight without Cyclone. So ultimately that pick onto Owner, while it was a kill going over to Pays, it's going to cost them the Herald because of that ultimate usage, and there's no cross map available without Peanut being able to set up the dive. So Baker just sitting pretty down here, and they will secure now both Rift Heralds on the Rift.
And Zeus should be able to,
I mean, this
pick
is a
up
very
those
typical,
turbulence
this is a
on
very
Jace,
typical
unless, Owner decides he wants to play
Genji
for it.
play, though. They don't really care about second Herald. So I think that they are actually just saying, like, yeah, I mean, Herald is also going to put pressure onto T1 to make a play with Herald, right? Because you need to use the set piece. It's not like you get the Herald and then you win the game. And so I think this is like a very textbook Genji play to just wait it out and think about how are we going to answer the Herald. Because of course, second Herald not nearly as important as the first Herald. And we'll see. Probably going to give Genji an edge onto the Dragon. This is usually how it's being used. So yeah, immediate Cyclone into the Charm, into the Rakan knockup.
Starts off as maybe we pick off Zeus again, but then T1 actually responds, and they kind of read the play, but Genji's one
Zeus still going for the, well, suboptimal damage build here, right? Which, of course, I mean, you can argue it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really do anything. But I would say, well, stuff like that always matters. And I just don't think that he's going to need the shield from the Eclipse as much as he would benefit from the bonus damage here. I don't know. We'll see. So far, Zeus gonna play the top lane very carefully here. Yeah, he's pinging question mark, of course. Gragas will move into the top lane now, but has been preoccupied. We're looking for exactly how T1 is planning to use the Herald. Right? That is going to be the one. They don't really have any towers that are easily breakable with it. As mid lane, I believe, has a little bit too much HP for the Herald to be like the real big threat. But Genji find themselves a little bit out of position here. But yeah. So they will end up getting the mid lane tower. You can see that Genji is like playing this very, very cautiously. But setting up a good concave here onto T1, where they set up a lot of their catch potential in this concave, and so it's difficult for T1 to know. If T1 oversteps into one direction, there's a kill potentially there. As now Cyclone will be procced here. That's kind of rough. We are looking for Owner once again. Owner will go down. And T1 don't really have an answer to this. They are just getting T1'd on, to be perfectly honest, and will just be taken down. And honestly, this feels very unlike T1 to get caught in that situation. No one really prepared for that whole plan here.
And it comes from the player that was criticized most. That was considered the weak point. Doran is the one that sets up the play right there. Gets Owner into the rest of
Doran not being a weak point anymore is really, really good for Genji. Of course, props for T1 here. They are holding out in gold very well, which is, I think, considerably difficult. But we see, like, Keria has to, right? Keria has to get out of there. Has to flash. Now the question... Now the Veigar cage is down. And this is kind of where T1 just has to play back, right? And then a really weird thing occurs here where... Like, look at this. Why is Owner here? Like, what is the plan here? What are they looking for? I think that they read it in the way that they were like, yo, what's up, Capsule? I think they read it in the way that they were like, oh yeah, they're starting the Drake. But yeah, really rough. And of course, Doran playing that a little bit too safe, but you know, no worries, no issue. Faker Flash is going to be procced as well. Owner obviously goes down. So definitely not a bad situation to be in. And not really any answer available here to T1. It's a very rough one to play. It's a very, very rough one to play, I would say. Because now, I mean, you're still like reasonably even in gold. I think that the dragon not necessarily the most impactful. Ooh. Doran is actually popping off. What the hell? Like, so far, dude, Doran has been doing very good. I like it. Like, this game is also interesting because I feel like it's just the slight razor's edge that usually you feel like Zeus manages to stand on the safe side on. This time just barely didn't work out, like 2 times in a row, right? 2 times, like, Gragas survived with 1 HP or something, right? And so yeah, that's okay. So this is a classic T1 play, right? They are starting the Baron here in order to force it, As Chovy will not be able to stop the Faker teleport. Now the teleport comes in from Chovy as well as the cage. And that is going to be Chovy just locked down. And that is the catch potential here of T1. Is they can just pinpoint that damage down onto something like the Ahri and just take her out for sure. As now Doran in a little bit of a hard place, but also has potential to turn this whole fight around with a good cask here. Is going to stay alive here. Will cancel Gumayushi Q. Will do his best, but Gumayushi is capable to pick up the Baron here now with that Q. That got cancelled. What the hell? Okay, very good. Very, very good, Mr. Guma. Holy moly, dude. Also, I love Carrier's face tattoo. Carrier face tattoo is just 10 out of 10, dude. What the hell? My god, that was, dude, that was such a big swing, yeah. It looked really bad, but this is like a typical T1 thing, right? We've seen T1 do this a lot, where maybe they drop a couple of deaths and, you know, they fall behind pretty hard. Zeus looks really bad. But then it's just like the Baron calls happen, right? And it works out. And the whole, like, the whole chess pieces are just starting to move according to plan. But here, Faker definitely not moving according to plan. Will be taken out. Just like that. What's my league elo? It's a little bit hard to say, but I'm currently hard stuck Diamond 2. Oh, Peanut. Oh, no. Owner gonna flash. Will pick that one up. I don't know if you were able to fight this fight for longer, though. It's Chovy. Absolutely amazingly will stay alive here.
And this is a team fighting composition here for Gen G that is reliant on ultimates, but it's reliant on Pays being fed. While T1 does win this last skirmish, he's now up 4 kills, already has big blades, and he is rushing to a third.
Same actually. 10 out of 10. Dude, I'm just not making it to Masters. I've been so close so many times. I just like, I'm losing it, man. Actually losing it. Oh, that's so rough. Yeah, I mean, Pays is like... Pays got so much money, and Pays is like the answer to a lot of the problems. You're all in main champions, mid lane, and it's pretty much just Victor. Like, in high ranks, I can pretty much just play Victor. Play a lot of Viego and Akali, Veigar, Silas, that type of stuff on my lower ranked accounts, but can only play Victor up there. Otherwise, it just gets stepped on.
Yeah, there is absolutely no difference as Faker is going to be spotted on this ward. Chovy round to the side as Gen G going to get collapsed upon.
This is going to be a difficult one for Gen G because they're kind of out of position, but they are positioned in this like beautiful concave. And actually, yeah, they managed to find a really good trade. I mean, like Zeus, holy shit! I didn't even realize, like, why is Zeus not there? What is this call? Huh? Okay, so many things weird here. Like, look at how Faker steps forward without owner. Like, I see. Actually fucking Doran smurfing again. I didn't even see the casket. Like, look at that casket. Like, really clean ultimate again. Owner, yeah, not really there in time. Dude, my god, Doran is like fucking popping off so hard though. I didn't even realize that, like, on the first watch. Oh yeah, that was such a good cask. Yeah, and you're not gonna find a kill here. Dude, I've seen this like multiple times now. This team fighting where Gen G position themselves in this like concave and just like wait. And it looks so unstable, but then they always pull the trigger in this like very nice coordinated way. There it was the Gragas cask that snuck in there and tagged Faker barely. Of course, Faker's focus predominantly being onto the Ahri there, right? Which is the rough thing is, I mean, T1 could do the same thing, right? With They just have like so many different options. That wasn't the best. Okay, Doran. But so far, man, Doran has been popping off, dude. Holy shit. I love it. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. And yeah, that... These team comps are so weird. And it's so hard for... Carrier. God damn it. It's so hard for me to judge which team comp is stronger. Because, like, thematically, I mean, it's so hard to say because Gragas and Zaya open this whole, like, thing up so much that all of the sudden you can have these situations where Gragas sneaks in that cask and then all of the sudden Rakan and Wukong can play off of it. Ari, of course, able to, like, respond to all of the different angles that can happen through the Gragas cast. So it's like, you would think that versus Nautilus and, like, Varus, and you just don't stand a chance. But the thing is that Veigar doesn't get on range to place his cage around Ari to lock her down most of the time. The fight where he did, they absolutely, like, snowballed that fight out of control by taking him down early and then his team being able to, like, not really being able to outman T1 even though they were doing Baron. Doran definitely looking. And Doran is huge. Like, look at Doran, dude. Once he gets his third item here, not bad, man. Not too bad. And I mean, Zeus, like, Zeus also kind of breaks me, dude. If Zeus was there, this would be a little bit different as well. I don't know about the Banshee's Veil. I mean, yeah, no. I think the Banshee's Veil, like, makes a lot of sense. Why do I, like... What did... I mean, it was a nice try here. Zeus, of course, trying to proc that spell shield. If Zeus can proc Chovy's spell shield, that is, like, super huge again. I don't know about the Banshee's Veil, because, like, you're facing off against Varus and the... T1. Okay. They're fighting really good Nautilus ultimates here. But do you see how, like, scary it is to fight against this team? And yeah, see how they create this concave once again, and then they find the one coordinated fight here out of all of them and pick apart T1 just in that beautiful, like, cloud style formation where they sit like around T1 and collapse on them. That's actually so good, dude. I love it. This so far is so well done. Dude, I still feel so bad for Zeus. Like, goodness me, man. He's he's not having the time of his life, man. Ah, it's so close as well. It is so close. Like, if you think about how much gold he would have and how much damage his shock blasts would do. I don't know what you're referring to, Capsule. Dude, hold on. How do you miss that? This should be a 50-50. What? You have Doran down here. Okay. Oh my god, dude. Beautiful owner. Holy shit. Yeah, owner's gonna go down, but I mean... Securing the soul there is actually really good. That gives T1 a lot of time.
a little bit too notorious.
Yeah, I mean, how many of these best of fives do we have to watch this guy set up for steals?
Oh, Peanut.
Yeah, it's been I mean it's been like the poke comp that they've been playing a lot this split, and it does perform very well for them.
Oh dear. Chovy looks for the
Did Zeus actually get the 800 gold bounty? Yeah, that's true actually.
have his ult for the next little while.
And I mean, they're still getting
But he missed 2 kills, just like barely.
or rather Fakers is to actually stop these pushes.
With all of these opportunities, with the fact that
I actually didn't track how much of the plating he got, how and when and where.
now that gold lead, I mean, it's the highest gold lead we had for what felt like the first
What I find so weird is like I find his positioning this game though to be a bit questionable.
time that it's actually been a real advantage.
I don't know why, but I feel like he's just not finding the angles.
Break to buy them some precious time.
Guma always on the edge with those
Oof.
Mars arrows too, making it easier.
Really big as well as Keria getting the hook there, because if Doran is able to try and interrupt Owner and they get so
Dude, that's so good. Like,
they have a team
imagine Delight was standing a little bit further, like behind the dragon.
might have some opportunities
That
when
probably would have looked different.
trying to hunt the 0 individual people
Oof, this is really good for T1.
against the comp with as much hard engagement.
4,000 gold behind.
It becomes so difficult to actually
It's survivable, but what is not survivable is I feel like Gen G are really well prepared for like the team fighting that T1 has to offer this time. And I feel like it's also T1 is not nearly as coordinated as we usually see them. Like I feel like I'm not seeing the snappiness,
Faker, he's so far
the pinpoint aggression that has been coming out of them a lot.
not gonna hit that spike this game.
And yeah, Gen G, of course, just doing such a good job with the ooh, very good cage here by Faker. But you can see like how Doran is so tanky. It doesn't like this doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I guess gonna be K. Look at Peanut, he's got the chain vest as well. Your Banshee's veil here on Chovy, you're just deflecting.
Wait, no. Actually, Varus got some of the top plates. Pretty sure. They rotated Guma up. So now Chovy gonna pick up Keria here. As actually really good engage here by Peanut. Guma Yushi will try to trade out. Yeah, see? Ah, it's so rough to play. This is the thing with like the problem that I see is how are you ever going to touch pace? And so like at the end of the day,
10 and 0.
Gragas is kind of a disposable chess piece. So is Ari. So is Wukong in a way, right?
Well, look, it's still game 1, but I think Gen G really showcased that they know how to use this composition brilliantly.
Dude, they're doing such a good job on like
Not hitting, and what
setting up around the
turret, tank turret,
around the enemy team. Like even here they get it, by the way. Like just constantly threatening the flanks and then just pulling the trigger. And it weirdly enough, it feels like that has been what T1 does very well as well. Although they're a little bit more cannonball styly, like just
never really an
smash in. On LCS, junglers always have very little amount of CS. Why is that?
You're just losing slowly.
and another big thing and how that fight and
Yeah, I don't watch LCS. I don't watch pro play at all, to be honest.
as an aggressive
I pretty much, I mean, I do watch pro play. I followed like the LCK the first
for plays, the bench
couple of weeks, like every single match, went through it, like
and then they don't.
looked at it very, very focused. But
Reason why I think Chovy's Ari
lately I've been focusing a lot more on like LCK.
they do have a 6
Oh,
gold lead.
I mean, I meant LCK and overall competitive games. Why they have lower CS numbers? Okay, well, so
Crazier comebacks, okay? Think back to
I mean, first of all, like it is 35 minutes, right? So, of course, as a jungler, your goal is not necessarily to be the carry. Now, you see that Peanut is focusing a little bit more on it, right? So, Peanut's champion does need and does require a little bit more money. Wukong becomes really scary with 2 items, which he obviously already has, but generally this stuff gets funneled into the AD carries, right? You see it on the Xayah here. You see it on the Varus. Like, look, if you look at their CS numbers, like, this would not be able to be replicated inside of solo queue, realistically, right? 36 CS with 36 minutes, 412 CS for Xayah, like that, you know, and that is just because they are funneling, and they're like, it's hard to explain, but they're manipulating waves in a way that the AD carries get funneled gold, and junglers give up a lot of gold just to like be in the position, just to cover the AD carry, just to be ready to respond to things, and are more of a very low income chess piece and not anything else. In comparison to like solo queue, where everyone wants to stay up in gold because they want to have impact. So basically they give their stuff so their AD carry can be the carry. They try to hit certain breakpoints, right? They try to hit the breakpoints that are necessary to hit for them, and then they focus on setting up for situations and protecting instead of like hard farming. Because one big problem with jungle, if you're like hard farming, is it's very easy to play around you because it's like super predictable. I mean, like, I don't know, ever since like Platinum, you just like start being able to predict the junglers very easily, and then all of a sudden, if I watch like challengers play and I try to predict the jungler, I can't anymore. Because, you know, creative pathing and stuff, and also the fact that they would just drop CS often, like, top side is open, right? You see this, you see Owner do this a lot in solo queue as well, is top lane is, like, top lane, whole like, red buff is up, the whole top side is up, and they just kind of ignore it because they need to make, like, a return gank on bot lane because they just blew their summoners or whatever. So, yeah. Okay, so what happened here? Let's have a look at that. But yeah, it's definitely the fact that you funnel a lot of the gold into the AD carriers. They have a better return on the gold. Like team fight impact wise, right? Because Sejuani's ultimate is not going to get stronger, right? And with like, no matter how much gold you invest. Dude, that is so good, yeah. I mean, he just like sneaks in there, right? And gets the steal. Such a good job. And here, yeah, you can see how like Gen G is just very good at like opening them up, right? They're just like the ball, like the defensive ball that T1 want to be. And they're super good at just like opening that up and just, you know, punishing. It's a very good job. Also a little bit like T1 though, again. I want to look at this again. Okay, so the Nautilus ultimate comes out here and hits the Gragas, which is absolutely inconsequential. He does that, so Gragas is not able to split up the team too much, but I think it was actually a misplay, right? It looks like a misplay. Am I wrong? No, this must have been a misplay. Surely you want to target Peanut here. Yeah, I think if he flash hits Peanut, then Owner is safer. And then here, Delight finds, of course, a really good angle, but also, like, there's nothing stopping him, right? And Zeus kind of in a weird position here as well. But why does... They're also, like, abandoning the fight so hard. Like, Owner, and then he just, like... Damn, that's so rough, man. But yeah, you can see how, like, unkillable Doran is also. With just a little bit of lead that he got. Yeah, 444 CS for Xayah, dude. This guy, it is 37 minutes. This guy is full build. That, dude, imagine having that amount of gold as an AD carry in like a solo queue game, dude. You'd feel like a god. I mean, I'm sure Paze currently feels like one as well. But yeah, holy shit, this is so well played by Genji. I feel like T1 is just offbeat though. Alright, very well done. Yeah, that was crazy. I kind of want to watch the analytics because I'm not super good with like analyzing pro play.
So extremely one-sided in my mind. What did you guys think?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, starting off with the draft, I felt like
Okay.
That was game number one that perhaps a lot of our fans were not expecting, but Genji came in and they clapped them so hard in that first game. It was so extremely one-sided in my mind. What did you guys think?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, starting off with the draft, I felt like the Jace and the Veigar, made a lot of sense. Like the Veigar into a short-range composition that Genji had, pretty good. And the Jace as well outranges a lot of things, and we've seen how good Zeus can be on it. But I think there were some concerns about the Kennen.
Yeah, I mean, I personally didn't really like the Kennen, but if I really have to assume like why they banned it, like I think they could open like IP the top champion.
Oh, I mean, because it also like
which is like the Kennen, and then like they could also do a Yawn like from the Chovy. Like I think that's probably my guess. But the thing is like, you know, I think that from the draft, I don't think there was any problem from T1.
Yeah, I think maybe like if they had banned the Gragas instead, it could have gone better. But I think objectively, the draft is fine. It wasn't a draft issue. It was definitely a gameplay issue.
Yeah, started off that way, and the side of Genji, you know, it...
Yeah, it's hard to say. I feel like there is some potential, like, better picks here. But I'm not knowledgeable enough. But, like, there must be an answer to... The problem here with T1 is that they're herded together by Genji's playstyle, and they can't, like, respond. They can't really respond to that, because Genji is just able to, like, pick them apart, right? Because they have so many fake outs with Wukong, right? With Rakan, with the Ahri. They have so many, like, potential points where they can engage. I don't know. T1 should also have that. My biggest problem is actually the Nautilus.
It seemed pretty stock standard, right? You're kind of drafting some more engaged, but at least
I don't like the
comp
Nautilus.
has an identity across the board. And we can jump straight into highlight one because we got to talk about what Doran was able to do on the top side. Started out with T1 not able to convert on this game.
Yeah, and with the Jace, if you can get momentum for the Jace for Zeus, it's fantastic. That's what the play plan was here. They went top at about 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, so here Zeus actually... Here Zeus needs to flash, which is like super unrealistic expectations.
A little bit of a miscalculation here from Zeus. He ends up going down, and it did a little bit of a miscalculation. Plan was here. They went top at about 3.5 minutes, but a little bit of a miscalculation here from Zeus. He ends up going down, and it didn't get
Dude,
much better
that's
from
so
here.
fucking rough.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have to know like this is like the blue.
Could have,
but a little bit of a that's what the play.
yeah, no,
was here.
owner could have not, couldn't
top
have
at
done
about
more there.
3.5 minutes.
This is just up to Zeus, like flashing the body slam, basically. If he would have done that, I kind of want to say like Zeus. This is something that I wouldn't be super surprised to see out of Zeus in games, like. But yeah, I don't know.
But a little bit of a miscalculation here.
It's kind of hard to
Zeus.
say.
He ends up going down, and it didn't get much better.
But like
from here.
usually you don't find him caught out by like a simple ability.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have to know like this is like the blue side, the first pick, which is like
But yeah.
the reason why they get the blue side. Like it's also like there's a thing is like the strength, like 2-3, like you can pick together, like something like that. But the thing is like this draft, they first pick Jace, and it's Genji actually planned to take down like Zeus of the first pick blue side. So it's already from the pick and ban. Like they couldn't really take any like bigger impact and the bigger the advantage like from the T1.
Yeah, and the thing is, with a champion like Jace, you're a lethality champion, you want to be ahead of the curve, you want to have a gold lead, particularly when you have a lot of favorable lane matchups, but he just never
Dude, that was so fucking good.
really found footing in this game, constantly punished, and it meant that you didn't have this strong poke threat in your composition.
Yeah, and to me, it feels like immediately this is a huge issue for T1 because Zeus has been struggling a bit in playoffs. We've already seen it. And now in game one, they give him first pick Jace, and this is what happens, right? This is not what you would expect. Genji immediately had an answer. Doran's like, well, I'll just play my best comfort champion of Gragas and be able to sustain through some.
Dude, but his Gragas play was also like the single. I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but every Rakan engage was pretty like straightforward. Peanut had one really good engage. Chovy had a really good catch. And otherwise, we had like 3 Gragas game-winning plays, basically.
Some of those ganks. We can take out the second highlight as well, which was this team fight on the Drake,
Man.
of course. And again, Genji and especially Doran able to set up some incredible stuff.
And I think what's fantastic is the amount of engaged tools that Genji has. If you're against a longer range composition with something like a Veigar, having multiple tools, multiple people to set it up is so important. But Doran, he was the one making the big plays in this game.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, from Genji, like, Peanut started, like, kind of poor. Like, he had to burn the ulti, but the thing is that Doran just, he changed whole sequence of the Drake. Like, I don't think that Genji was actually the favorite. As the positioning-wise, it was fine. But the thing is, like, he find a way that he can actually isolate the one person and that just was fine.
Yeah, that was really good.
Making the big play.
I also found it a little bit weird because you see this a lot with like the mid teams that they tend to float, right? They tend to like sit around with not really any objective. Usually with T1, you can kind of read an objective, or they're like standing around and it takes like a couple of seconds until their win condition actually happens and they engage on it, right? But here, they're kind of like standing around and I don't really understand the purpose of them being positioned in the way that they are, doing what they are. Like, of course, Keria is doing a great job here, right?
He was.
And so, yeah, I mean, Keria is doing like an amazing job, but
Having multiple tools that Genji has, if
like,
you're against a longer range
usually you would see like Zeus here and Guma here, right? Like, this is pretty usual for T1 to play that way.
Having multiple tools, multiple people to set it up
And like,
is so important. But Doran,
here, like, Owner is so far forward as if he was like looking for a catch, but when he gets the catch, like, how are they planning to follow up with Gumayushi, like, until he gets in range?
Having multiple tools, multiple people to set it up is so important.
Oh, yeah.
But Doran, he was the one
Such a good
making the
job.
big plays in this game.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is,
And this was a pretty good cage by Faker here. But we get 2 flashes forward here, right? It's like, I think it's Rakan and Zaya that flash forward. Yeah, so this is the flash.
yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, from
W by
Genji, like,
Rakan, yeah, and then
started, like,
Zaya
kind of
follows
poor.
up.
Like, he had to burn the ulti, but the thing is that Doran just, he changed whole sequence of the Drake. Like, I don't think that Genji was actually the favorite. As the positioning-wise, it was
That was
fine, but the
very
thing is, like,
well done,
he
dude.
find a way that he can actually isolate the one person
I love
and
it.
just like focus on one pretty easily and starting to fight 4v5 completely. That was insane.
And I think once one person finds that engage, you have the follow-up. This is why Rakan's been so popular recently, because if Wukong or Gragas or Ari gets that initial bit of CC, the Rakan can easily use his ability to follow and layer that and get the kill.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The second the momentum started, you've got the follow-up from the Rakan. You have the Ari right there. And the Zaya able to get in position at least to do incredible amounts of damage. And we did have a Zeus death reel. We didn't get a Doran highlight reel, but a lot of our highlights did kind of just look like him setting up incredible plays. And once that momentum got going, it was pretty crazy. And we can take a look at the final one as well, this final fight in the mid lane. Genji able to once again set up a incredible position.
Like, once again though,
As well, this final
like,
fight
how are
in the mid lane,
they're just
Genji
waltzing
able to
in there like this shit belongs to them.
once again set up a incredible position for themselves.
Yeah, I mean,
But this, right? This feels like Genji should lose from this position.
Genji was be able to find the,
And then you
like,
just
target.
see the ability for like Gen.G just pulls back.
Like,
They're like, okay, come in. Come into the concave.
who they need to
And T1 knows they can't
like,
come
the
into
thing
the
is, like,
concave.
as
So
it's
now Chovy opens up
same
here,
thing, like,
right? And this,
it's
like, look at Doran. Holy shit.
Doran just finds
This just removes Gumayushi from the game, or just grieves him into the team,
the way that
where
he can
like Zeus is just standing there, can't really do much.
engage the people, and then like
And then,
after when
oh
they
my
learn when they
God,
don't
what,
have a
dude?
flash, they
Oh,
work hard to
that's
find a
so
way that they can
nasty.
actually be in the final pushes that actually just finish the
And
team
just
fight.
picked apart by
And again,
Gen.G,
like,
but
you know, when
honestly,
Chunks at the
dude,
start of this play wasn't
so
necessarily
well
the
played by
leader who could
Gen.G.
engage. If your only engage was the Wukong, you'd be struggling. But Doran comes in, Delight's there as well. I mean, they were considering...
So I think what I would say is that actually T1 doesn't really... T1 is actually very pinpoint CC. T1 doesn't have any, like, big CC to catch out, like, multiple people. I think that's the point. That is the point that I was, like, constantly thinking about how to formulate that. But if you look at, like, the fact that Gragas, Rakan, and the Wukong are all capable of setting up these, like, 5, 2, 3-man CCs, I think that is the thing that, like, is really difficult here for T1, is they need to find one and blow them up.
Gen.G going up
And they
against
just
a team
can't.
like T1, but they have started so well.
It's so rough,
in this
man.
Series.
Yeah, all of the 3-0 Predators immediately thrown out the window.
Like you.
Thrown off the balcony, me included, alongside of a bunch of other of us, because, yeah, I mean, T1 on paper, maybe you would expect them to be the better team, but Gen.G came out and they're like, we're not talking about paper anymore. We're talking about the form on the day, and that's one of the things I mentioned in our pre-show, because, you know, T1, you look at Zays, look at Keria, not really at their top form right now. Gen.G, they have come out with a bang here in the beginning of the Best of 5. It's going to be difficult for T1, I think, to come back from that.
I mean, honestly, even if you're a 3-1 predictor, I'm feeling a bit nervous after that one. Gen.G really in great form, and as much as Doran was the highlight, Paze and Delight both had fantastic games in that one.
I mean, if I have to say something good thing for T1, Gen.G didn't start really good yesterday, especially the first game. And I think I would say there's an advantage for Gen.G that because they played yesterday here, and this is like their already 5th game in here, but T1 is the first game. So that means like we gotta see the next one.
Yeah, that's exactly what Atlas was talking about at the top of his show as well. It's like you get comfortable in arena, you just feeling yourself, you get a big win in a Best of 5, you just dunked on KT, who a lot of people were saying they were supposed to beat you, so how's that going? We can take a look at the side selection here as T1 have selected blue to the surprise of no one. Ox.
Yeah, I think you can tweak things definitely in the draft, but we said we didn't think draft was the major issue, and blue side is still something they're favoring, so they can get the first choice on those power picks.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I think that might change the plan of the first pick because of this was like actually the game.
But why Vi? Why the Vi ban? I don't think the Vi ban's it.
One was almost the first time Obazay was playing actually like aggressive pick, and he actually
That's also
failed.
something that
I mean,
you can
we've seen
tweak. There
multiple
are like
times
a
he
couple
tried
of
to
things
start
that you
and
could
then he
tweak.
failed, like sometimes, but the thing is that this is actually the first time
Fuck.
In particular, in this very matchup.
No.
Now he'll be on the other side of the
didn't.
coin here, playing the Ahri into the Cassante, and already
Hold
on the
on,
back
hold on.
foot.
Ha! Saved. Haha. Easy, dude.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for game number 1. The grand final, the first grand final that we've had here in the LCK, because we finally got a lower bracket, so I get to say grand final. I always say it. I always say grand final, but it's never been correct.
It's been grand every time.
It has been grand. It has been a grand final.
Dude. Holy shit.
All
right, here we go. So, let's see what the adaptations are. Is blue side once again?
We'll see if that Jace priority is the same, because
Please no, dude.
Game,
Like,
it did not work out.
It didn't. Here we are in pick and ban for game number 2. T1 down 1 game.
Zeri, Vi.
Sticking to the blue side once again as the bans, they
Lucian
remain
Annie.
exactly the same as we saw in game number 1. Cassante would come in and Elise to round it out, and then that notorious first pick would be the next option, but no, the change-up will be the Rakan ban here for T1.
And who would have thought? Who would have thought that Rakan would be banned against Delight in an LCK Finals after 2 years of Frederick Rion for Delight, now in a Grand Finals for the first time, has an incredible performance here in this first game, and T1 respect
I love
him.
that.
Do love this for 2 reasons. One, we know that Faker himself can play the Cassante mid, so it is a flex pick. It doesn't give anything away in draft, and it also takes it away from Gen G. So starts off good here. I think the main thing that we want to see from T1 is adaptation. Not only in getting a great draft of their own, because I do think they had a lot of comfort in the previous game, but more importantly, denying it from Gen G. And yes, the Zyra Khan won't be given over, but yesterday we saw KT try to deal with this Aphelios a bunch of times. As is it Kate Lux?
Oh man,
Into the
okay.
Aphelios.
How many times has Gumi Ishikaria lost on Caitlyn Lux, gentlemen?
I mean, Caitlyn Lux is a pick that,
Okay.
a duo that has given them so much success.
Holy
Darius
shit.
Lux, in my mind, has been his most standout pick outside of the AD.
They must
picks
have
that he
been
had
baiting
early
them
in
into
the
that,
season.
right?
His
Because,
Lux
like,
has been phenomenal. Some of his best games this
people never leave open the Caitlyn Nuts.
season were on this pick, so even out of the 2v2 lane, it's a high-impact player here.
They're picking the Ahri
Gonna
again.
leave the support pick and prioritize the Ahri once again for Chovy. So now picks like that Aphelios are likely to be removed, or rather, the Thresh for the Aphelios to be removed.
Also, you basically have to ban Lissandra here for very obvious reasons. Faker is exceptional at it, and it is the best pick into Ahri. But if T1 can't figure out something that can actually deal with this Ahri, I think Gen G might try to do what they did yesterday, where through Chovy being impactful in mid lane.
Isn't Syndra a really good pick here?
The bot lane, even though the matchup in the 2v2 is very rough, can still salvage. And if they can salvage, and they can get to a mid game where they team fight, we've already seen they are good enough to match up against T1.
I think the Thresh ban here is just so obvious because it's so empowering for Ahri as well, because she can, with Banshee's Veil, she's already somewhat safe to dive deep as in Fish like Chovy has done. And they're going to ban the Malphite here. You know, with the Cassante picked early, you're not as worried about this pick.
What?
But the Thresh is just so easy. If you want
Why
to
the
make sure that you're
do you
you're
ban
already dive
Malphite?
deep, and the Aphelios is going to be safe in a lot of these scenarios. But it looks like rather than that, they want more hard engage here, and they'll lock in the Nautilus.
Yeah, Nautilus going to come in. I'd actually already started penciling in the Thresh because Delight was so good at it yesterday in that final game. But Viego going to be picked up by Ona, one of his signature champions there in the jungle. And there is the flex of the Cassante towards that mid lane. We'll see whether Faker can utilize this pick to nullify the Ahri in mid as Cannon going to come through for Zeus.
And this
Ahri
is
doesn't really have the
exciting as
ability to
right?
pressure him out
the,
early.
The Lightning champions, Jace and Cannon. Jace didn't quite work out. The Cannon coming through blind here. What is Doran going to pick? And it is, to me, okay, well, you know what?
Yeah.
Why not?
It's a decent matchup into the Cannon. Like, if it ain't broke.
It's so remarkable to me that Gen G are also recognizing how well Doran is playing by changing the priority that he's been getting in these drafts, right? He is actually the one that is getting counterpicked now. Now, it's just 2 games of Gragas.
That's true.
I'm sure he's going to be very happy with. You were looking at the Cannon
Yeah, I was
mid.
like, Cannon support, Lux mid, Cassante top? Like, what's happening here?
Well, what's really interesting to me about how Gen G played that last draft, it was the Sejuani.
Cannon
They
mid is
constantly were able
unplayable.
to set up picks
We're
on
sorry.
Faker caught a few times as well.
Not early,
on
but
the
later.
Veigar. But Cassante is the only frontline T1 really have in this draft. Viego himself can be somewhat of a frontline, but isn't very tanky.
I mean, yeah,
But
what
as
they're
a
playing
support,
off
if you
is the
lose
fact that
control
there's
over the
so
map,
much
as Barry
like
with his
potential
Lux, your ability to actually get vision on the map
to
is
poke
so
out,
difficult, it's so
right?
dangerous, you're always going to be under threat.
And then Viego
when
will
Puck
be
swap sides
very,
here,
very
a lot of
capable
ways
of
about
just
how T1
finding
wanna
those
fight,
kills.
because they need the hard engage to come through. They need
It's a
Cannon
very
and
complicated
Viego to set up
combo
with this
to
Cassante.
play though.
Well, as you approach,
SKT's
Doran
comp.
can remove that Cassante,
And once again,
pull
Gen
away
G
from
comp
the
much
rest of the team.
easier, I
You
would
get
say.
that pick, and T1's composition falls apart.
It's going to come down to the bot lane matchup because Varus and Odin strong, but not necessarily a lane that was the hard stomp lane. With Caitlyn Lux,
Am I now
they have got
co-streaming?
to
Well,
put
no,
down
I'm
pace.
just
They've got
watching
to put
the,
down light, make sure
this is the
that Vega
finals.
doesn't find an early angle, that they don't get put on the back foot.
The LCK finals, and I really wanted to watch them because I've heard that they are upsetting.
We might see a repeat of game number 1.
We could, however, This
Alright.
is T1.
We pray for some hands on
I
Zeus
haven't
today.
seen a game where they've lost with this particular duo.
Last
That
game
is
was really
because
rough.
They haven't ever lost. With
And I
this
would say it
duo,
was like the
has
razor's
not been
edge,
figured
right?
out, that possibility.
So let's skip into the game.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Onto the...
Yeah.
It's been three
Yeah.
single throws that they've
Nice fight, fan chance.
It's 4-0
We all cared about that.
Caitlyn Lux this season to put the raw numbers on the table here for Guma Carrier. They have been by far the most dominant 2v2 lane in the LCK. You could say what you want about Guma's team
So,
fight.
I mean, like, technically, right?
The flash over from Delight. The charm is going to land as well immediately. He's flashing away. His pace is flashing for it. But the Lucent Singularity. It's going to be enough to save Gumayushi's life, but not his flash. Pays had to use his.
And
You know, this is a really good answer to the idea. Because this is, okay, so this comes down to the topic of, like, you have those high pressure lanes, right? Like Azir used to be before he got changed now. I don't know how he plays now, but those lanes, Victor has this a lot as well, where as a jungler, your goal is to remove some of the defensive stuff from the Victor so he can't bully as hard, right? A good example would be the Victor losing his teleport, or maybe even losing his flash and his teleport early on when he's facing off against a matchup that otherwise, like, could be very difficult, but that he kind of relies on snowballing into in order to transition into the mid game smoothly. And Caitlyn Lux is kind of in a similar situation, right? Where if they get like tagged in the early game, they lose a little bit too many resources, and flash and 75% of Guma's HP definitely is a start. That's really good, and that is definitely worth 3 flashes. That is definitely worth Chovy flashing and Delight and Pace, because that now removes them from being able to, like, play for the plates, and then it's very rough for Caitlyn to actually have a lot of impact onto the mid game.
Punish here.
All right, let's see how much damage.
SKT is the only team I trust with complicated comps. True.
Faker might be able to zone.
Yeah, 100%.
3 flash for 1, even though you get lane dominance. This rough, because bot lane is gankable. Think T1 wins this trade. Genji can tower dive now. I disagree. I don't think they win it, because if both of the junglers end up mirroring, it doesn't really matter. Both comps want to play for the bottom either way. Like, Cannon is never going to run over a Gragas. And I think that Lux and Caitlyn losing this defensive flash and a lot of HP on Guma, I think that is very, very impactful. Especially given the fact that Guma, of course, is going lethal tempo, not fleet footwork. So
Off on the back foot is really big, but Chovy pays for it heavily. Not
It's
only
rough.
does he lose his flash, but also due to Faker doing a really good job of zoning him out, he will be very far behind on experience here on the first few waves.
Yeah, lost 1 minion of experience, but those melee creeps, that's a lot more. So definitely very high value.
And the Aphelios here isn't helpless in this lane at level 1, has Calibrum, and can kind of trade back some of this damage if he can avoid the singularity.
Looking very
here,
good so
as he
far.
already has.
The
And
lane.
This is actually going to be able to get through these first few minion waves here a lot easier because of that initial trade. So while it wasn't a kill, not completely worthless, as you were saying, Chronic.
Gumayushi has to be so careful because of Hex Flash, right? So you kind of losing like 2 flashes.
Yep.
Because Hex Flash really has its own upsides.
Every single time as well. So
Depending on the context, of course.
For this particular duo for T1, we'll see whether it's going to be enough to claw them back into this series. As yeah, this win rate also relatively high. As there's a reason why we saw the Cassante banned away and first picked here in.
All right, we will
game
see.
one, and then here in game
So see, so far, this is kind of predictable, as Faker will, of course, try to shove in order to secure minions and kind of reduce the opportunities that Ahri has to, like, poke him and auto-attack him and stuff. Thus, though, removing the gank chance that you barely have anyway onto the Ahri. But, so, like, the flash there is not gonna really matter.
Going for the aftershocks as opposed to grass. We've seen a lot of mid Cassante still go grass, but into the Ahri, if they space well, which with Chovy you're going to expect, actually getting grass procs will be fairly negligible, so not going to be the case here. And
Yeah, Chovy is gonna be rough.
might be looking for something, but with owners.
Alright, so now the question is, Owner's been clearing. Owner's been clearing better than he should be, no? He started solo. Oh, he popped his ward. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Dude, that's just such an L for Genji. And Peanut Gank does nothing. Like, go get items, mate. Return. Oh my god. Ah, Pace couldn't afford. That's really rough now. His owner's gonna stick around. Here we see Capsule. Here we see what, you know, like you're spending a lot of time just kind of covering instead of being on the map already.
And for Pace in the light, even in a scenario as good as that one, actually getting an advantage, still not going to be able to. But if they can get to 6 while dropping minimal waves and dropping minimal plates, would still be a win for them.
Now, Doran has been having a really tough time in this top matchup as well. He's nearly 20 CS behind, out of mana here. And he's stopped on his back, so he's going to have to stay here because he doesn't want to miss these minions, but it's very difficult for him to CS them.
Azeus is doing a good job on the cannon, dude.
Because of this attempt here from Peanut, pre-6 bottom side.
I actually didn't realize Cannon, like, was able to bully that hard.
On a mana bar, he's a ranged matchup here into Doran, so Doran has to teleport early, and Zeus is just sitting pretty here on the top side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, Faker's kind of like...
So T1 with some really
Yeah,
nice
it's fine.
game advantages here. At 5 minutes, already stacking.
Faker's like very fine in this
Absolutely
lane.
amazing stuff.
Couple minions behind.
Thus far in the early game, we'll see.
I think like the score says even, but I think he should be behind a little bit because he's been pushing.
Once again, business as usual.
No.
T1, they can play out games so well with these early leads. We've seen it so many times.
True.
And 100% win rate for this man's cannon on the top side of the map. There's a reason why his name looks like Zeus. Gentlemen, on the top side of the map, there's a reason
Oh my god, 9 wins. Whew.
why his name looks like
I mean, all the stats are overinflated this season,
He's
though.
also got early Sork shoes here. Decides he does want to back. Has just enough money to buy them here early. And in
Oh,
an early
Sork
game against
shoes.
the Gragas, those resistances will mean a lot less when you actually have this early buy.
The light relatively far, but also do note Pace also going for boots first. Generally, we don't.
Best
see
top
that.
laner on his best champion. Zeus tends to struggle in final and playoff games.
Oh dear, Delight. He's just gonna flash on him. Finds the hook there as well. Flash out
Flash for
immediately.
flash. Gumayushi's not gonna go down, but I think that's kind of the win condition here, right? For Delight and Pace is just to kind of like
Gets the cannon.
Yeah, I'm
That's
sorry.
what matters.
yeah.
I saw that and it sort of
Deny
took
the
my brain
pressure.
for a moment there.
Oh, here now the lane stays really rough.
Okay, you'll have to bear with me.
Oh. And do note
The
that
Wukong counter
on
gank
cooldown, and now
is
the
not going to
6
be very
for Pace to
strong
light.
yet.
Very scary. Owner knows this though. He's gonna clear the ward, and if they can get a kill on Pace, it would be huge.
Yeah, Peanut getting into position as well. So a 3v3 here on this bottom side. No flash on Gumayushi though, and Pace has his back available. That is the big difference maker in this situation. And stopping Gumayushi and Carrier from being able to take plates is the biggest thing. They've already managed to take one. Is now Peanut getting aggressed on by Owner. There's the Conqueror proc as well. So he'll have to use that blast cone to get himself out of dodge. Wukong not able to fight against this Viego early on.
Yeah, didn't have Warrior's Trickster and just had to take the damage there to get away, losing all of his health. And this means that T1, with the prio they already have in bottom.
Okay, this is like a classic T1 kind of game. Little bit of weirdness going on, but in the end, like, you know, they still end up coming ahead in CS. And Wukong is just way too weak early on.
He has to be bottom side to keep his lane alive so they can stay relevant. They're still down 10 CS. You're down 30 CS on the top side of the map. Drake goes over, double scuttle, and just like that, 2,000 gold lead here, nearly 2,000, or sorry, 1,500, nearly 2,000 gold lead here for T1.
And what's really big is I think T1 playing it out a lot more calmly than in game number 1, where right, like they went for the early dive, they went in these really big aggressive plays when they didn't necessarily need to. As he's hidden.
Dude, Owner is going for the whatchamacallit build again.
He's going to move in. Means
Divine Sandra built again.
Top side is T1 a little bit late on the rotation. We'll see whether Gen G can lock this one down before everyone turns up. And it looks like the answer's yes. Jelly gets her eye
Yeah,
through
this one's
multiple
down.
times. The eye, though,
Oh, what is Owner doing?
difficulty is Chovy gonna try and get himself out. Ace in the hole comes through.
Oh, he gets the reset. Oh my god. Holy shit on Knife's Edge, dude. Yeah, he's gonna catch him. Very good job. Holy shit. See, this is what I'm expecting out of T1. Very good job. Dude, I was not expecting Owner to live that. That's wild.
Not going to be worth it. If Chovy gets out there, I think you're not going to feel too bad about it, but that's not the case. Kill going over to Owner as
Doran? Okay, well, Owner is taking a lot of damage here. There's the cast. Owner doesn't have any mist remaining. And there's the boot with the barrel. As solo killers, Delight is in trouble as well, Gumayushi. He's not to be messed with here.
Owner being Powner, true.
I'm sorry, I won't doubt you anymore.
Yeah, Owner is definitely...
We know. Yeah, we get it. When you go in and Gragas, he'll get it done. As
Congratulations to Peanut.
1,500 kills here. Now, feels like a consolation prize here in a series in a game state where you're not ahead. But if we go back to this skirmish here, where you have, as T1 here, so much team fight power in this cannon early, who's holding flash. And while the Herald is secured here,
This is so much worse of a reaction though, right? Like...
Joey picks it up.
Yeah.
But look at how much power you have with the Viego and the cannon ult setup. And yeah,
Genji held it a little bit too long. I think they were like not sure whether or not to get out or fight, and
you also see like
ended up like just
there, right, with the cannon ult being right as big as Doran.
To be honest, I would have played that better. Owner kind of mid-tier jungler compared to me. True. Very true. Owner mid-tier jungler. Confirmed.
Small victory here, but still, you'll take it.
Yeah, dude. Like, T1 coordination is just very good whenever it works out. Last game, not so much. But it feels like they're back on... Back on point. Although Owner like Owner fighting Doran there is just such a weird play, dude.
Now a lot more responsibility on Peanut and Chovy.
And as I was mentioning before the Herald fight, what I like from T1 is that they kind of have calmed down after what was a very eventful early game. In game number 1.
Alright, so 2 plates so far for Lux Caitlyn. 10-ish CS lead.
And, you know, AD carry supports might not be quite at the same level as they were
Interesting. Now they're lane swapping, which is going to be pretty rough for Gragas. A little bit rougher for Gragas, I would say, even than it is going to be for Zeus, right? Because Zeus always has that kill potential, where Gragas is just going to be weak-sided. Yeah. He greeted for a camp and got stuck in a fight, yeah.
But when he's on the Gragas, even down on CS, he's going to be the one who absorbs the pressure.
Hook is going to connect here as they knock up Owner. He's in the bouncy castle forever. The Heartseeker is not
But
enough.
what?
As they knock
even down on CS, he's going to be the one who Doran's performances on a lot of different.
Now, honestly, that's a nice like loop around. It's pretty rough. Yeah, you wouldn't like.
He's in the bouncy castle forever. The Heartseeker is not enough.
And on 3 places on the map, they're winning out. Yeah, Doran is losing some plates here, but he's going to be able to keep this turret alive. They're getting plates top. They're winning out. A lot of different picks.
They were losing the map until this point. And here, so if Zeus pulls the ultimate right here, Genji loses. Literally, if Zeus like goes in and ults here, T1 loses, because Viego has so much sustain and his ultimate available. Wukong wouldn't get the recast for the CC chain. But yeah, it's rough, man. Like the Nautilus ultimate just like locking him down forever. It's very rough.
And Gen G still behind in gold here, but they are really turning this one around.
And what's really big here is there's no crescendo anymore, because otherwise they might just get first turbo right off that Zeus.
Well, Moonlight Vigil comes down. Zeus looking for even more, grabbing him. Not going to be snaring Zeus just yet, but with Delight lurking, that is more plates going over to Gen G and to Pays in particular.
They might still get that first turret blood.
But that was so
just zoned out.
But that was kind of unnecessary, right? To go in and like forcefully clear the wave there. Damn, dude. So it ends up being like relatively even, right? As a trade, except that of course Owner went down. Owner's like considerably weaker in the 1v1 with his item instead of like Blade of the Rune King, because he's missing the attack speed. But he's going to be much stronger for like the team fighting survivability there. Okay, let's look at this. No, Faker.
Just outplaying here, but he is still going to be moved back by the Q. Has to flash to get himself out as Faker's still looking for even more.
T1 can't.
Barrel in position. They are going to be able to complete the heist.
Heist successful. Chovy hits the crucial charm. Owner steals those. Oh, they know.
That is so much value. The light binding comes in. Peanut going to get out as... Oh! Okay, there it is. The final spot. Oh, what the heck, Peanut? That was so silly. As now Zeus should be able to punish Delight, but he flashes. Pays flushes down the kill, and a flash comes out as well. As now Chovy, he's looking for the charm. He does find it, but it's not enough to save Pays, but still, Zeus is going to go down.
What am I watching a series of...
I just gotta call T1 subbing me in for game 3.
But this just stems the bleeding, because at the end of the day, T1 still with the gold lead here. They are going to pick up first turret blood, but it could have been a lot.
Yeah, but the gold lead's not nearly as good on T1 as it... Like, the gold lead is necessary on Caitlyn.
Worse. If they don't get that first turret blood, it actually would have been a bit of a disaster. That made sure that they still ahead in gold, but the skirmishes are going Gen G's way, and that's something that I think if you're a T1 fan is going to worry you, because Gen G's team fighting composition again is incredible. And
but that was just such like weird, like just hard overcommit.
If they don't get that first turret blood, it actually would have been a bit of a disaster. That made sure that they still ahead in gold, but the skirmishes are going Gen G's way, and that's something that I think if you're a T1 fan is going to worry you, because Gen G's team fighting composition again is incredible. And look at that soul. That's a Hextech soul, so every single Drake is going to matter. And man, Delight and Doran, between the first few rounds of playoffs and now, could not look more different.
Oh, no, definitely
the
not.
confidence that these players are moving across the map with as Peanut sneaking suspicion here.
Doran, so calm too, holds...
Dude, this reaction time though is like...
the recall.
It's pretty clean. And then here he still gets tagged by the ultimate.
Knock up here. Calling out that he has no flash, and then they re-engage.
And Owner just gets caught out here.
And yeah, there are casualties here on the side of Gen G, and the turret will go down. Pays. Calling out that he has no flash, and then they re-engage here with Pays. And yeah, there are casualties here on the side of Gen G, and the turret will go down.
Harry is just like, dude, what the hell?
These fights are going to go later on, because in the early game here, this is not a Fed Aphelios, this is not a Gragas with more items, and Chovy with agency later on. If this continues to go like this, the gold lead won't matter when we get to 30 minutes in this game.
It won't. I do want to shout out Carrier there, who was able to so valiantly land so many of these skill shots in order to keep T1 in that situation. Really well played. His Lux, as you mentioned, Wolf, is absolutely amazing, but he's going to have to be at peak form in order to make sure that this one works out. Another worrying sign is the fact that Gumushi has none of these kills. Extra money on Caitlyn can be so valuable that he's going to have to find some in this mid-game if he can. Still, T1 with an advantage. Doran going to try and even that out.
And it all comes down to can T1 find individual picks. In the game number 1, that wasn't really the case, But I think that this time, because they do still have a lead, when it comes to gold, they should be able to hold on to map control for a lot longer. And when it comes to picking up individual champions, yes, Genji's comp is still strong with Charm and Hook, but T1 can isolate targets with Faker, can have an amazing stun lock situation going on with the Lux.
Yeah, I mean, the Faker isolation didn't go too well last time, huh?
Flank, there are still ample of opportunities here, but it's all going to come down to how the team fights go.
This feels a lot more like the usual, like T1 usually plays, but they're just less ahead. But it still feels like you're just like, okay, yeah, whatever. Like, T1's gonna win anyway.
Absolutely, 30 CS in the lead. Outer turret now under fire. If they get another one, that is huge. Oh, the layering of CC is fantastic with Doran. He takes a drink, and he's going to walk it off now.
And Toby's going to get top turret. It looks like
does that matter?
T1 are completely grouped in mid with no
Not really.
up. So the lack of success here on that first turret kill attempt really comes back to bite them. And Doran has done such a good job of buying time here, deleting these minion waves. Now Faker will find one on the bottom side here, some additional farm, that is to say, it was taken out earlier. Can they maybe set up a dive here as Doran decides to come back over? There's no vision here in the jungle for Genji.
Oh, forcing a teleport here. Nicely done by T1.
Well, Carrier is going to be locked into the wall, just barely mispositioned.
That was really good. That was really good by Carrier, though.
Well,
although he could have.
Here in the jungle for Genji.
Oh, forcing a teleport here. Nicely done by T1.
Well, Carrier is going to be locked into the wall, just barely.
No, that was good.
Mispositioning the cast there is Doran. Could have been deadly. Instead, it was not. As Genji going to hold on to their inner turret for the moment. I like
Yeah, but Carrier went for the wall there.
T1, a lot of money in that inner.
Not only,
which, like, increases the area where he won't be knocked into the team.
Be able to get control of the bottom half of the river, shove up the waves. Although we do see now Carrier and Guma still had to back, so they will actually be a little bit late here to the objective. Gives Genji the opportunity to set up vision.
Guma is going for rapid fire cannon here. Second.
To be the case, as we know, they obviously doing a thorough check here.
And critically,
kind of weird.
there's no flash for Zeus. There is flash for Peanut. And these
Like,
are
you're not going to deal a lot of damage
compositions, especially for
with
Peanut
that.
at range, to look for follow-up here on this Caitlyn. Caitlyn also has flash at this moment in time, but Genji not only faster on the Drake here, but arguably the better setup here. Doran can still make an impact without his ult, and it's coming up soon.
Yeah, a lot of vision available, though, with that Rift Cutler that it was taken by T1. Zeus in flank position, unseen for now. As Genji, this is dangerous.
Ooh, Zeus is opting for, like, a front to back.
Faker doesn't find the Q, but he can fish for another one of those in a little bit of time.
Zeus' flash is coming up. That could be the timing they want to engage with the Maelstrom.
Yeah, Lucent Singularity coming down.
Yeah, so far, like, Genji's not giving them a good engage angle here. Faker looking for it. Oh, Zeus doesn't find anything here. Peanut will go down, but Zeus didn't really hit the game-changing ultimate. That's kind of rough. Oh, nice. Faker stays alive, though. Gumayushi is able to deal good amounts of damage here. Three of the best laners in the world are in T1. Kinda sick to have 3 top tiers in one team and GOAT named Faker. Yeah. I mean, T1 is definitely a super scary team. I also just love the fact that they actually stay together. Like, I find it so silly whenever teams just, like, constantly perma swap out their players and are just, like, rotating them around the league, and you're just like, dude, the fuck does it, like, just, it feels so blamey, you know? But yeah, I don't know, I love it whenever whenever that doesn't happen and whenever teams stay together like T1 does here. Just that alone I love about T1. I still think that, like, Viper is probably better than Guma. Very good team fight. The ultimate from Cannon wasn't that great. It was actually really good. Like, it was actually really good by Gen G to be positioned in the way they were. Because they were constantly threatening the counter CC while still like being there, right? And I think here, I think this team fight could have turned around could have turned around harder. Like imagine owner stays in the pit here. Like look at this. Like imagine owner stays in the pit here and gets the reset. I think this was not so good by owner. Definitely not. No. Because here he would be able to follow up with the ultimate. He would still have it, right? He would be able to follow up with the ultimate here. Would be able to get that Wukong together with the Warrior Trickster, cleaning everything up. Zeus ultimate, like, was just like super defensive Zeus ultimate, right? So I think if that was different, that would have been huge. But then the question is like, yeah, I think the main problem is that Faker is supposed to pull out Gragas and then just fucking like dance with him somewhere in Timbuktu, and like owner can focus on everyone else. Like imagine here owner had Wukong transform. He would have it. And it's like Chovy's dead and Pace is also dead. I mean, I think they end up dying anyway, so like kind of inconsequential, but still.
And secondly, Carrier actually gets the kill on Peanut, which is for T1 the sign to keep on going. And there's a reason why Guma and Carrier have not been allowed to get this duo. Look at that 100% kill participation between the two of them. And even though the laning phase was somewhat selfish by Gen G getting an early,
yeah, that was, I think that's like the best thing is that the binding that Carrier hit was actually like a pretty simple one that he hit on Pace, and that just turned the lane around. Because before, like, Pace was pretty stable, and then he lost like, was it 1.5 waves?
But also demonstrated right here beautifully. They are fantastic at locking down single targets, just going for that pick potential.
Worth of CS, not of XP.
Control ward in this Baron pit, and the T1 Baron now up on the table.
Yeah, and this is the amount of control that you really want to have as a Caitlyn Lux in the mid game. As we're at 21.5 minutes here, T1 have enough control vision-wise here where they can threaten Baron starts. They can safely just push all of these lanes and not be afraid of a wraparound from Chovy or Peanut's flash engage, right? And you have this Lux that's so fragile, we talked about it earlier. Just gonna ult for tempo. Wow.
Holy shit, dude, that's so much damage. That's Infinity Edge style damage. What?
Not only does she clear vision, but she also can threaten anyone who tries to come in and clear it themselves because there's so much follow-up.
That did not feel like it's a rapid fire cannon. Second.
So this is what
that
Chovy
ultimate.
has been doing this game. He's been top side pretty much this entire time.
Alright, well,
but
fuck me,
T1
I
needs
guess.
more.
Now, see whether these answers are actually going to be there as light binding collected by
I mean, I did say the
the
3 flashes early game weren't that great. If they'd killed Caitlyn, it would have been sick for Gen G. Just think they failed, shut down the Cait Lux.
Surprised if Zeus actually goes for Death Cap next and just accepts that as long as he can trade with Pace or 4 summoners, he's already winning, right? Because one of the big things here is that I think the Gen G composition, as we get to late, is going to very heavily rely on Pace being able to do damage.
Still don't think it was a lost trade. Because realistically, like, you didn't lose anything on Chovy, because Chovy couldn't have played more aggressive versus K'Sante. Like, if you've watched, like, Tristana struggles against K'Sante in lane early on to bully him and to outpush him. So, like, there's no way. So that flash, kind of inconsequential. Then Hex Flash on Nautilus, so that's also kind of inconsequential in a way. Although maybe you could, like, argue that it's not. I agree it would have been better had they gotten the kill. That's sure, of course, right? Because then Gumayushi misses like the first wave as well. Yeah, maybe. You could argue that it was a question of like time when Pace gets hit by a binding. But like, yeah.
By this cannon. And if Pace doesn't actually get to do damage, Gen G becomes very reliant on finding early picks. With how the map state is right now, doesn't seem very likely. But what is crucial is this up-and-coming fight, because if Gen G get a soul point, it changes so much of the equation because you cannot risk. And if Felios...
I mean, it's going to be so difficult to play for Gen G. Because like Faker has so many options to screw over Gen G's team fighting.
It becomes worth it if you can actually secure this. Your position in the game is much more relevant. If you lose this one and it goes to a 2-2 Drake, T1 are just winning in every other regard. So there's a fight you need to win, but you don't have prio whatsoever. That hasn't changed. And T1 have just given up the top side of the map, let Chovy farm there for free. There's no gold for him to get with an outer turret. That was taken out earlier. So it's at no cost to them to just say, we're putting all the focus on bottom side here. We have Baron Vision. You couldn't do that. Chovy can't make any plays topside. Now we're on this Drake, and you deny this one, you're in such a good position.
Well, Light Binding not going to find the target, is now Gumayushi not going to
Ooh,
get
nice.
absolutely fantastic play here by
That's
Gumayushi
very
defensively
important.
on this Caitlyn. And the thing that I want to talk about, guys, is the fact that last game we had him on the poke Varus. Oh, sorry, the on-hit Varus that was just getting picked off left, right, and center.
Faker's kind of meh player, though, so most likely he will fuck up.
On this Caitlyn, we're going to see him going up against Pace very evenly this time. As yeah, we're looking for it, but the Drake is just going to be given over to a piece.
Kind of mid, dude. Honestly, Bjergsen would beat him all day, every day. TSM, TSM.
He just needed a net.
That's all he needed. And it showcases Gen G without control, going to be very reliant on either hard engaging through Doran and the light, but that wasn't really an option there.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Much more difficult this game. Like,
it's been one of the reasons why this Caitlyn, as of right now, is undefeated.
Faker is just constantly following him around in the jungle here. Whenever there's a moment where they don't have vision, I think Enut or Chovy might be in the similar area. Faker's just making sure, shadowing him, that he's not going to get picked off. So
yeah, I mean, Gumayushi is getting like...
ability we talked about he already has. He has flash still because he's under no threat.
I don't know.
It's really easy for them to say,
Gumayushi isn't even getting like all the potential gold that he would have been able to. But I think that like once he has Infinity Edge here, it's going to be pretty rough. But I mean, apparently like his ultimate did insane. Bjergsen quit 3 days ago, I know. But that's why I say like he would beat him if he was playing League of Legends. Like how you're no longer falling for my obvious bait. I've grown older, dude. Emotional IQ has grown. Just a little bit. Before the response would have been okay, dude. Yeah, either that or just like start arguing about it.
Now they're grouped up for Baron. And Genji has to respect this, and they could just back away. They have teleport for both of their solo laners here. There's so many things that Genji has to deal with all at once.
And two factors here. One, the spikes. Faker just getting his stone blades, Guma getting his IE. If you thought he chunked before, just wait until you see him land.
Okay, classic T1 Baron once again.
Immediately they started up as soon as they get the control ward down. Information now.
Oh, but Chovy is in position. Doran potentially could. Absolutely insane ultimate by Doran. As I don't know who is... Dude. Holy shit. But is it over? I mean, Carrier's not really gonna do much there, but Owner still... He did get the transform. Enemy team is pretty low, but Chovy is gonna find Owner. And that is a dead Owner. Holy shit. Dude, that was so well. Dude. But, like, how on point was Genji's reaction here? Like, this is a classic T1 thing. And I feel like they're so well prepared. Because look at that. Like, T1 starts this, right? And you just see, like, immediately everyone's there. And then beautiful play by Doran. Like, look at this, right? I would say... I would actually argue there's not really a way for T1 to win this. Because this is always going to be happening. The Doran is always got, like, the Gragas is always going to find multiple people, right? But here, this was really clutch, dude. Like, look at Chovy's charm. Look at it. He repositions, and look at that. Look. Barely tags the Caitlyn. And that's just rough. Like, that's just over. And then here, Owner does a pretty good job, of course. Owner technically being like the other win condition, but here he loses his ultimate into Doran's damage reduction. Right? That's very good. Faker going all out right now. Wait, I didn't even think about this. Can't Faker just go all out here? No, he can't. He barely can't because he's tagged. Damn, dude, that sucks. Dude, Chovy played that so well, actually.
Faker is incredibly tanky though, as now Doran has to get out of there. We need to see the carry from you. Pays is over the wall. Is carry in the final spark is avoided, and Pays will do it. Picks up the double kill, and can Genji now get the Baron? I think they've turned it around.
He's popping off here. His positioning is so good. He avoids the ultimate there from Carrier.
Oh, so well done by Doran, dude.
The fight becomes so simple. Pays lives, T1 lose that fight, and that's going to be Baron. And there's nothing that Carrier can do to look for a steal here. But the performance of this player who's looking for his first title here in his first...
I agree. I think it was unwinnable. They missed a ward. The front line kind of struggled to clear out the other half. If they got 200 years, might have been okay. Yeah, I guess so. Now the game's even again.
When your coach is score, you can do things like this on...
Actually, Zeus found an amazing ultimate here. I didn't even realize. Look at this. Zeus did really well. I was so focused on like Chovy. But Zeus did so well here. Look at that. And then... Owner griefed again. It didn't kill the 200 years? I agree.
But he's just not able to. I think that Guma dies regardless here. Peanut buys so much space here for Pays on the right.
Yeah.
Side of the fight, and while Faker is tanky, once he all outs, Pays
Damn,
can
dude.
delete him.
Oh my, and Pays actually using the loss of his Severum on the wave to completely heal up. Stays alive.
The slightest.
If Owner kills Pays, it's winnable. Yeah. But look, he has Warrior Trickster clone. Like, okay, so here's my point, right? They know that Pays has Flash. They must know, right? Because look at Zeus. Like, Zeus knows. Zeus is like, nah, dude.
You can do things like this on Gragas Chronicler.
No, but he griefed. Like, this was...
You can do things like this on Gragas Chronicler.
No. He griefed here. It's Flash WR. It's Flash WR instead of R. He has Flash here. I realized that he griefed not because he was like running after him, right? But look at this. Like here, I realized he had Flash. But look at this here. Here, his ultimate. Look, imagine he Flash ults here. He could have Flash ulted. He would have tagged Pays here. Would have been able to follow up with WQ. Would have gotten a double kill here. None of that would have happened. He has his Flash here, and there is no reason for him not to Flash here. Because he can Flash ultimate, and it actually like buffers him through the CC.
Baker just so desperately wishes he could have blocked that charm, but he's
100%. He could have gotten pace here. And like Peanut too as well. Or just Peanut and then pace after. So yeah, he misplayed here. 100%. This is where he griefed. Not here, not like where he gets Peanut and so on, but like before. Here he could have flashed in ulted. That could have actually like won it. That's really rough, dude. So Doran did in summary, right? Doran did an amazing job. I mean, T1 started a like 55-45 play. They end up getting absolutely clapped by Doran and Chovy early. Because they lose their AD carry very early on. Guma could have actually repositioned here. I think. Yep. Guma could have actually moved into the pit here. Guma actually needed to move into the pit here. Guma also has flash available. Guma actually misplayed this. Guma actually misplayed this as well. Like, because you see the Gragas here, you know what's gonna happen, right? No, they didn't see the teleporter, maybe. That's actually kind of rough, yeah. But yeah, that's... Okay. So multiple points where T1 could have played that better. I mean, for Genji, like, Peanut grieves. Like, Peanut doesn't buy space. Like, Peanut is just trolling. No idea why you would EQ in there. But yeah, works out great still. I mean, yeah, no, I have an idea why he would EQ in there. Dude, so well done, though. That was so well done, honestly. I don't feel like Pace played the fight particularly well. He got caught by Zeus. He had to flash away. And he just, like, survived by the grace of Owner, I guess.
Yeah, it's basic game ending. And the Baron buff here should be able to guarantee that Genji end up having prio for.
So you said the game was even again, huh?
Takes this. And I mean, right now at this moment in time, T1 are faster grouped for this. And Genji, I mean, this is a fight you need to win. And
you're probably right, yeah.
That you had last time. It's very unlikely that you're gonna.
It's an even game now, so up to T1 to play well again.
So you still need to be able to prove you can win a 5v5 fight even if you can't pick that AD carry. Now they're setting up that prio. The Drake is spawning here at 15.
Dude, what is Chovy's build? Wait, Chovy does not have any flat pen. That's so weird. Oh, if it works out. I would never build that. Horizon Focus. I want to see the point where Horizon Focus is worth it.
This is such an important fight here. If Genji can get soul points, T1's game becomes so much harder.
And Faker is 2 full items behind this Ahri, and of course they are cheap items that Chovy has built this time around, but still, he does have a huge advantage. Soul point now on the table, they do so much damage to this Drake, but T1 not going to go down without a fight, as it is going to be secured by Genji. They look for the flank, but the hook is going to connect.
Oh, rough situation.
Faker is just obliterated, and Genji are going to be able to just walk out. T1 no response to this dragon.
Kind of a bizarre fight here for T1 because you're trying to flank on one hand as Faker, but the collapse is so easy from Genji. That's exactly how they want to take out the Cassante, is just collapse on him. You set up a trap, so you've discouraged Genji from moving left in this fight. And in fact, once they take the Drake, they're naturally going to move towards Faker, who's then spotted and collapsed on. And T1 just looking very desperate. Even Guma trying to look for the Q here for a potential steal, but you're not bars this time.
And what's crucial here,
Oh, we got another fight in live here as the outer turret is going to be taken. Carrier just demanding the respect on this. Lux is going to be able to get himself out. The Everfrost absolutely fantastic.
Such a weird cyclone out of Peanut. It's so fucking weird, dude. His hunter value falls off here. No. That was just bad positioning by Faker, though. Like, no, I think his hunter value would still be huge. here, like, this is just very...
Two full items behind this Ari, and of course they are cheap items. That Chovy
Yeah,
has
this is just
built
very
this
good
time around, but
understanding by Chovy here, actually. Like, look where Chovy's positioned in a way where he can respond to anything and still, like, keeps out Faker. And Faker commits to this really hard flank. But Zeus, like,
Soul point now on the
isn't
table.
ready
So
to
much
fight.
damage to this Drake, but T1 not going to go down without a fight, as it is going to be secured by Gen G. They look for the flank.
Yeah.
The hook is going to connect. The charm connects as well. Faker is
I mean,
obliterated.
I know what you mean, but I think his Santa value especially lies in his ultimate here.
Kind of a bizarre fight here for T1.
Being able to
They're
remove
trying
something
to
like the
flank a lot
Gragas
of
from a
Faker,
fight
but
is
the collapse
still
so easy
huge.
from Gen G, that's
Always
exactly
gonna be
how they
huge.
wanna to take out the
I think he was
Kazan
just out of,
collapse on
like, in a really
set
bad
much
position, out of
grabs, you've
position.
discouraged that Gen G
Like, I don't know.
moving
Someone like
forward
Zeka would
in
never
this
be
fight.
positioned
In
like
fact,
that.
once they take the Drake, they're naturally going to move towards Faker, who's then spotted and collapsed on. And T1 just looking very desperate. Even Guma
Zeka's, like, really good at understanding these flanks. And, like, if he has an escape path.
Oh, we got another fight in live.
Like,
Here
Faker
is
has no
another
escape
target
path there.
that's gonna be taken carry.
It's not about the positioning of the fight. I just meant that from the position of the game, it's rough to see K'Sante value now. K'Sante struggles from behind. True.
Just demanding the
That I agree with. Yeah, that I definitely agree with. I was thinking about that earlier, where he's like pretty much just like a remove Gragas spot at this point, and like eat skill shots, I guess.
And we have seen, again, in
But yeah, I agree. He's definitely not gonna have like
have the
nearly
ability
as much
to come
value anymore.
back from deficits. In the KT series, they were down even further. Faker found a miracle play. But with how the game is going right now, anything short of that, I don't know if it's going to be enough. Gen G's composition plays out so nicely, right? You have a beefy front line. You have so much damage. Both your AP damage between Doran and Chovy are very hard to deal with. But then you also have a monster-fed Aphelios here in Pace. And for them to actually be able to deal with anything while also staving off a Hextech Soul is incredibly hard.
It is, and also the damage, like, I like what Zeus is doing with his build, right? This is maximizing the amount of damage that you can do, but Paze is going to be a bruiser. We've said this so many times. I don't think 100 to zeroing this guy on this Aphelios is going to be as easy as finding a flank as Doran. He's going to do just that. Gumayushi does QS.
Oh, but that's actually not such a good fight here for Genji, or is it? Okay.
Chovy's just dancing around the fight, but Moonlight Vigil crucially goes. Now Faker has now just that. Gumayushi does to be as easy as finding a flank as Doran. He's gonna do just that. Gumayushi.
So Chovy kind of misses everything here.
Chovy finds the angle, doesn't find the charm though.
Oh shit.
As now Faker looking to protect his teammates, but Zeus is going to be picked off.
Yeah, I guess
Now
not.
Faker's
No.
gonna get body slammed. Chovy is just dancing around the fight, but Moonlight Vigil crucially goes wide.
Crazy. I thought that.
Have to back away.
Damn. I thought that owner would have gotten that better, but yeah, that was just Doran.
I mean, Gen G might be able to push the
I mean, that was just like.
here off of the play, and Gen G once
Damn,
again
that's
just
rough, man.
striking back. Doran coming into the mid lane. They might be able to look for
He just
even
gets
more
blown
here.
up.
Gumas
Yeah,
once
this.
again just
I mean, that's the
deep.
problem with like. With Canon, like if you go for this full AP build, you actually need to like apply the stun very quickly.
To back away.
We've seen these
Especially
teleports
versus like a comp with this much
from
single
Zeus
target as like
before. This
Nautilus
is not
and
the one you
so on and
want.
so
I mean,
forth.
Gen G might be
To back away.
This is also an Infernum Calibrum. Yeah, it's also like the Infernum Calibrum Haze.
Is going to be picked off, and now Faker's going to get body slammed. Chovy's just dancing around the fight, but Moonlight Vigil crucially goes wide.
It's actually really nasty for this kind of
We've
fight.
seen these teleports from Zeus before. This is not the one you want. I mean, Gen G might be able to push
Although he
the
didn't
Gragas
really get to
inhibitor
do what he
here
wants
off
to
of
do
this
with that
play.
combo, but yeah.
And Gen G once again just striking back. Doran coming into the mid lane. They might be able to look for even more here. Gumas respawn,
Wait.
but they've got a wave. Who
He
is
needed
this
to get
for?
rid of Infernum
I have no
first.
idea.
Where has he been? Where did
No,
he come
never
from?
mind.
I think he read
If
Reddit.
Zeus got the ult there, then there's a one-team fight. Yeah, yeah. That's why I thought, like, but he just got like the Gragas body slam. The lingering hitbox from Gragas was really good. No Zhonya's, yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he's going for that. Okay. Not a good cask. Now there's a GA. Like, now it's just unwinnable, no? So here, like, this is just... I mean, Carrier actually could have played that better. Yeah, he saw the entire channel, so he actually could have hit that. Although, like, that doesn't matter. But I think... Honestly...
And until this moment...
This is just very well done by Gen G. And actually, like, it's so funny because you always see... And we saw that with Gen G as well. You always see these teams being caught off guard by, like, the coordination and where you're actually, like, out of position. And here, T1 is definitely out of position.
I was gonna say, it's still winnable for T1. I think there's still...
Dude, Guma has flash! Viper would have flashed. Viper would have flashed that.
Doran's able to get on top of Guma, who immediately QSS's, but he's now out of the fight. Toby is behind enemy lines, and Zayas, with this mistake of teleporting into the fight to try to turn it, it's already over. It's done. There's nothing you can do. This is missed time from Carrier. Doran's able to get on top of Guma, who immediately QSS's, but he's now out of the fight.
What I don't understand is why Faker and Owner are going back here. Imagine Faker pulls out the Gragas like he's fucking supposed to. Like, Guma, Yushi, and Carrier are in a really good pocket here. Dude, honestly though, like, this can be easily won, no? As long as Faker is in front of Cannon and acts like Cannon is the carry. Like, look at this. You're teleporting onto the same ward. And then Faker is, like, dashing away looking for fucking Chovy, who's, like, out of Everfrost, out of Charm, out of everything. And then Zeus gets, like, left alone there. Dude, honestly, I swear this could have been won by T1, though. Someone in T1 is calling off the fight. Yeah, exactly. But you can't call off the fight anymore. You can't call off the fight. Also, like, it's such a good pocket here. Look at Guma, Yushi, and Carrier. They are invincible. Like, not really, but like Guma places one trap. Like, Lux covers everything, right? Like, if Gen G just run in there stupidly, they're just dead. So they can't do that, right? They don't even have to worry about Chovy, really, where they're situated. And, like, imagine Faker just pulls, like, ults Doran behind Pace. And then Cannon comes through and Owner, like, ults on top of it. And it's just, like, it's over. No? Yeah, they're, like, super focused on Chovy, who, like, look.
It's already over. It's done. There's nothing you can do. And Guma, he doesn't have to flash critically. But before this, I was going to say, there's flash on Guma. Zayas has flash engage. The next fight should be T1's if they
so weird. T1 feels so offbeat. I swear to you, T1 would have engaged that one, and T1 would have fought that one and won that one in, like, previous days. It's a 4v5. I think hard commitment here is the best. Yeah. Dude, I thought this was a blunder by Doran in the beginning. I thought that he actually, like, threw. Of course, it's like, dude, of course. But that's what made T1 so insane, is that they would always make these, like, really good calls when, you know, when analyzing. Or when in the game without analyzing. Like, they always made those calls. And I think this one would have actually been a, like, potentially good punish here. I think they could have... this wasn't too, like, difficult of a call to make. You just kind of, like... Because also, like, all people were grouped up on top of each other. Perfect for a cannon ult. And like, if you pull Gragas behind, Kennen still connects with it, but Gragas can't punish Kennen. I think that could have worked out better.
To be possible.
Yeah.
I don't think that was an insane call to make.
Oh my goodness.
This has to be the one fight.
But T1, I don't know if you've watched the games before this, but T1 didn't play too well. They played versus KT as well, and it was like so weird because they were super offbeat. Like, they managed to beat KT because they always do, but
Looking for that flank angle already. Faker soaking so much damage. Has to flash to get himself out as there is another cast to get the mini. Win a team fight and get.
This has to be the one fight.
Do anything to get Paze.
But again, like, T1 is aggressing here. They have the same shot callers and coaches from last year. Oh, this is not last year. This is literally like the last 4 games in comparison to the entire season before. Dude, I watched the games from the entire season before. Dude, they were running over people. I swear, they were finding exactly fights like that and closer. Where like, just Owner found insane ultimates, found insane transforms, just completely snowballed the game. So I don't know. I would say that this this is like T1 actually kind of playing mid in comparison to what they can do. I don't know. Last 2 days. But it's also T1. Like, they've come back from worse, so.
Absolutely amazingly done from Delight and from this Gragas as Faker goes all out, but he's gonna have to get out, but he's not gonna be able to. Chovy picks up that.
But this again is just like, they're here. But don't you feel like they're like opportunities to, like, here, this is an opportunity to win this, right? If Carry is positioned like somewhere next to Owner, is not playing like back there, but playing here, this is a way to like engage here, right? Because you have Flash. You can just go in here.
Do anything to get Paze's.
You just go forward. You flash Gragas out. Like, you flash all out Gragas out. Use that time to get the AD carry to 50%. He has Gravitum Infernum, which means he's about to transform. Like, this is the perfect situation, because in a second he will have red-white. And then it's just like... Then it's unwinnable anyway, because 200 years.
Absolutely amazingly done from Delight and from this Gragas as Faker goes all out, but he's going to have to get out, but he's not going to be able to. Chovy picks up that kill. Owner's going to pick up a minion wave to desperately try and save.
No Gragas ult just shuts down all the engage. But Gragas isn't in ultimate range if he gets all out ulted here. That's what I mean, like... That was an opportunity to all out him here. He was positioned against the wall here somewhere.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. You might be right. There is probably enough time, but like, you're not gonna get a better opportunity than this. Nah, I still think if they pull the trigger S3, Gragas can actually not react. You have to be really clean. Yeah, but that's what T1 usually does. Like, they just, like, out of nowhere explode on you in exactly situations like that. No, I think that Gragas actually can't do much there, because the instant, like, all-out can secure that.
Picks up that kill. Owner's going to pick up a minion wave to desperately try and save the base, but it's not going to save them from the wrath of this Gen G Baron.
Easy Baron pickup here now for Gen G. And once again, this is the fight that T1 had to win. They had to win it, but they're picked Faker's off on his own. This is the fight.
Baron. So we can win it.
Also, like, they must be looking for exactly that engage, right?
Do anything to get Paze's flash so we can.
The only thing that I'm thinking that probably fucks this is Carrier actually being, like, too far behind here. Yeah, I think that's actually an issue. So then Chovy can just go in between Keria and like Kuma Yushi is even more open. So I think that actually in that situation they couldn't really engage. But I think if Keria would have stayed, I understand what Keria was doing there, but if Keria would have stayed closer, I think they had more potential to get a kill there. Because you layer everything on top and it's just like over. Okay, yeah.
They can go straight towards a Hextech Soul, and Genji might be looking to go up 2-0.
I still think here was like there was an opportunity here to press R for all of them and get something. But the fuck do I know? Can't even make it into Masters, so whatever.
But Baker's so low, he instantly then dies when he's caught by the Nautilus ultimate from Delight. And Guma's just not even in the fight. Doesn't matter how many items you have if you can't actually do damage because T1's front line, or rather Gen.G's front line, is too immense. And your front line
yeah, the Gragas is so fucking scary, dude.
This is so much power for Gen.G. It's as close to Exodia as you can get without an Elder. Which is the silliest thing
they should be able to push that end.
And now they're looking for it. They do have traps set up, but this mid lane is completely open. Doran and Peanut able to freely move in. Right now, T1 holding the line.
This is still old Hextech, right?
Just gigantic damages. Guma is going to be picked off yet again. Zeus trying to defend. They blow up Peanut before he can really do anything, but the base is still in shambles. Doran in trouble. Can they get that pick off as well? That would be huge. But oh my goodness, Pays every auto attack is just doing 1,000,000 damage.
Not to mention that he could proc the Hextech with his Calibrum so easily here, and he's just constantly keeping T1 at base, so even though they almost get the kill on the door.
God, Pays is so strong, holy shit.
T1 at least survived.
Oh, Moonlight Vigil comes down. Okay, Keria.
Dude, Keria would have been dead there if that ultimate hits him.
I'm clearing vision. Just let me do my job, okay?
Surviving, though, is not the goal. It's not the win condition here for T1. And dropping 2 games in this series. Zeus is 1-6. It's the elephant in the room. He's been caught so many times this game.
Well, Chovy's inside the Baron pit, but Faker all on his own. Delight in position once again. The charm's gonna land. The dredge line's there. He mitigates the CC. Goes all out against the Nautilus. Can Faker survive this? There are so many Gen.G members bearing down on him.
Wait.
And Faker accepts his fate. He needs to get into that death chamber as soon as possible so that he can be out to defend.
Yeah, true.
Feels like we might have an upset on our hands if this continues, gentlemen.
It's
either that or Silver Scrapes, Wolf. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, there are 2 outcomes here. Either we get one of the sickest finals of all time, and T1 bounce it back, or Gen.G, unanimously agreed upon to be the heavy underdog here today, are going to take a commanding lead.
And maybe we see a Royal Rotor.
We could. Pace, and if he does it in 3, oh my god, Doran!
Bro, Doran is so fucking nasty with it though. Holy shit. Oh my god, it's actually fucking top lane diff. Holy moly, dude.
There is still hope. Hanging by a thread. Match point here for Gen.G.
This is an outclassing of solo lanes by Gen.G. In the laning phase. I'll give it to you, Zeus. I'll give it to you, Faker. Zeus was up 30 CS this game. He had total prio and control. Look at how the fights are going. Look at the impact Doran has made on low eco. And his impact is way larger. Chovy's impact way larger than Faker's in this game. And we are on the precipice, match point for Gen.G here, of the biggest upset we have had in a long time in the LCK.
And have you seen Space Jam?
Yeah.
I think we're going to need to call that timeout. We're going to
what the hell?
Stuff. And we're going to have to make sure that everyone on T1 is playing to their maximum moving into game number 3. Change up that strategy.
Might be an humongous upset here for Gen.G.
Well, here we are into the pick and ban for game number 3. Match point rests with Gen.G.
That's
T1
so
gonna be
crazy.
banning Zeri first off yet again. We'll see where this draft is going to change. And Wolf, where do they put the Gragas ban? Like, do they have to do it here? Are they going to be picking it away in the first round? Like, what's the game plan here?
I think while the Gragas has been a big problem.
Alright, so Ari's been removed literally
I
like...
think a lot of the other issues here have been around T1's setup for objectives. And Gragas has been great because Doran has been very punishing. But if you're going to...
I mean, Chovy has
Gragas,
so many
get away
champions that he can
just because of
do
Doran here, I
that
think
with, but
appropriate.
I
The
think that's a
problem
really
here is
good ban.
T1, as they
for
went
Ari.
to the Wukong here too.
Oh, I
Just
love this.
removing threats.
I think that the Wukong they should have removed earlier, because I think that actually Peanut is a really good angle to attack.
It's just been a neutralizing factor, and then we've seen T1 make mistakes leading into these objectives. Like the Baron fight where Guma was picked, you've got to be more diligent about these things. The pick itself isn't the issue.
I would actually say like Peanut is the weakest link here.
Zyrakan going to be picked up here by Gen G as T1. They'll take away the Wukong from Peanut. Jinx Tom Kench to come in from Gumayushi Carrier. Carrier's Tom.
Oh, they're going in, dude.
You see Tom Kench, and you're like, oh, boring. Boring disengage pick. No, not when Carrier plays it. And I hope that he's going to demonstrate that for us here today. Can be difficult to play into the Rakan historically. Now, what is Gen
Very
G
difficult
do?
to play
Peanut
into
looking at
the
Sejuani
Rakan, yeah.
lock-in, and he will go for it here into the Wukong.
Not quite the power of Rakan and Wukong. but
Sejuani
still
lock
very
in.
strong.
We have a Vi
Also,
available for
has the
ourselves, which we
ability to
obviously
follow
don't
up
really
and
want to
engage.
draft here.
Extremely strong, and on one hand, I like this for T1. We know how good Guma is at Jinx. Carrier also noted very, very strong. And
Jace
you
gets
have a
banned.
range advantage over the Xayah, which is something that generally she dreads playing into. But it's also
Why does T1 ban
pulled in the past where
the Yone
fans,
here?
when
What?
they try to go back to combat
Haze and
that worked
Peanut?
so well for them in the past. I don't know if
maybe.
this is the type of
Have to go, but have a
and I
fun
think the
stream.
mindset change
See you around,
they
man.
need to have a shot here in the finals. What is good though is they're acknowledging it's about
Thanks for hanging out.
And I think that Faker is going to have a little bit more agency in this draft potentially.
they banned the cannon. And like, oh my god, we don't want to see the 1-7 Zeus again. Dude, they're pinching Zeus so hard actually here. I mean, Zeus still does have a good amount of... T1 doesn't have weaklings, but the team decisions are kind of mid from last game. The Baron flip wasn't needed. They're not like coordinated. Is my summary. Like I agree with you that like it's just they don't play together. Like they make the calls and then like whenever it's like the plan doesn't survive first contact, they don't make the same decision on it. Who the fuck knows why? But it definitely looks like, yeah.
Phenomenal. Zeus cannot fall apart in this final game here.
We'll see whether he does pick up something like the hard counter, but no, it's going to be more the tank matchup.
Dude, Zeus
into
seems
the
so
Nile.
distressed.
And now Chovy with counter pick availability. No Ari to fall back to. We'll have to see
Wait,
something
Cyan,
different.
Vigar,
Genji in the
Jinx.
mid lane. Here, given counter pick against the Vigar.
Honestly, I don't hate it.
Really push out a lane
I don't hate this. Although the Wukong could have been a different champion, but...
We've seen what Vegas can do to it, and instead, it's going to be Lissandra, a pick that they have banned game after game. That is what they're
Lissandra.
going to use into the Vigar, into the mid lane this time.
And it's again a lot of comfort here. We've seen Gen G succeed, most notably on that.
This is
Xayah
honestly not-
combo. Many times in T1.
This is going to be more difficult to play for Gen G, this comp. Because this time they have to coordinate the Lissandra with Gnar timings.
Great composition to protect this Jinx, and Guma's play individually has not been the issue. It's been
And
more
they
of
have
a top
way
down
less,
attack.
like,
And
mass
Zeus,
area
also
of
an
effect
acknowledgement, right?
than
Not
in other
going for
games.
any high
Unless, of course, like, Gnar
It's
manages
okay.
to hit
It's not
amazing
working right now.
ultimates.
Goes for something safe that will have guaranteed impact. But when it comes to straight up team fighting against Gen G, we need proof that T1 can actually match them, even with a composition like this.
Yeah, the team fighting has been a little bit weird out of T1 so far. I don't know if I love it. I mean, I know that I don't love it, to be honest.
Here today, I can see maybe like 2 empty seats in this huge circular stadium.
And statistically, at this point in time, someone's got to go to the bathroom.
I mean, everyone's here for
Maybe they want to grab
T1.
a drink, get a pretzel, you know? Are people not allowed to eat, Atlas?
No, it's true. It's true. I was just saying that it's pretty full. That's what I meant. Much like the state of the bladder that Wolf was talking about. It makes a whole lot of sense here. As Genji just looking to defend T1's ward placements here in the early game as the Raptor camp now in full vision. And Gumayushi Carrier here on the
We'll see how T1 manages to play around the fact that Wukong isn't the strongest early.
Jinx, Tom Kench, something that they have played so well. Pays and Delight, a lot of
I actually find it kind of weird that they put Sion when they have such a like.
Is the better of the draft so far.
This would be a really good strong side top lane here.
That he's just felt so comfortable on in the last 3 games here in the Jump Shell Indoor Stadium.
And the Renekton pick I was talking about, which we could have seen, is a risky one because it means that Zeus has to perform. And I think T1 have identified, okay, right now Doran is looking to be so strong that I just don't want to take this risk in a matchup that can go both ways, and the scaling isn't going to be there. Whereas with the Sion, you're basically opting into Guma is the carry. We are the veteran AD carry on our side, and Guma is looking at this saying, this is now a comp where I have all the agency and I have a great front line. Even the Veigar cage is going to operate as a front line for him to pop off. And he's got so much safety with this Tom Kench, even into the Lissandra, even into, Sejuani engages into Rakan, as you were mentioning, Chronicler. So I feel like Guma is going to be at his most comfortable going into this one. Still
absolutely.
On objective setup, though, that's been one of the biggest issues for T1.
Also, can go Ghost here, which is just ridiculously high value for Jinx.
And into this T1 comp, it should be the hardest as of the comps that we've seen right now, because there is, as you point out, Cage. There is so much frontline between Owner, Zeus, and Keria, and there is also.
But Pace is honestly playing really good this.
For Genji, you
these 2 games.
Carry, but I do think when it comes to playmaking potential, the Genji
isn't Viper.
Again, a lot of tools. Chovy,
off
of his Ari,
no one is except Viper.
Also been a force to be reckoned with. And we do know that Gnar, when piloted by a player that is feeling great, can really make a lot of action happen in team fights. But T1, as mentioned previously, I think when you're in these high-pressure situations, a comp that kind of plays itself is a really good way for your players to try and refine some of that momentum. And this comp, as straightforward as it gets.
Absolutely. There's also the mindset, right? Like, you know how it feels. You're in a game of League of Legends, and if you're coming off a couple of victories, you feel like the rift just opens up in front of you. You can walk everywhere, make anything happen that you want to, but the opposite can feel true as well, as Zeus already in trouble, but Doran taking way too much.
Oh my god, so good. No, Zeus, what are you doing?
Might have just been baited into this one as Peanut comes.
No!
The damage that Doran did is they just dive over the top of him, and Genji turn it into first blood.
Bit of a close call there, that permafrost not hitting, and it is eventually going to come through, and they'll take him out here. Some flashes are expended, of course. Chovy and Doran both using there, so 2 for 1 in terms of the summoners. But definitely advantage Genji in terms of the gold you've picked up here. You forced out a teleport.
And
why the fuck would he go out there, dude? Zeus, why the fuck would you go out there? You saw that Chovy was missing. You could have seen.
There to set up the play. This is one of the things that we've talked about so much for Chovy throughout this split, is one of the biggest criticisms of this player seems to gone up in thin air. The amount of cross-map impact he's had in playoffs is nuts. And then you look at
that's true.
Like, how can he do both? That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah. You look at his CS stats and stuff like that, and you're like, well, if he's making so many of these proactive plays, why isn't he dropping CS? Why isn't he dropping experience? In this case, he identifies it because Doran's got lane controlled, Peanut's top side, and Faker decides to back. And he knows this, so he's just like, well, I'm not dropping anything for this. I'm just going to go make a play. Faker doesn't know I'm going up. And Zeus unfortunately caught here, now flashless.
Well, now Chovy doesn't have level 6, but he can get out of the cage. He utilizes the claw in order to do so. Does take a lot of damage.
Yeah, but he'll lose him.
Look for a reset regardless.
He'll lose XP here, actually, at a really important point. Unless he stays. No! Oh my god!
The circle of frost, though, that level 6 frozen tomb just taken by Faker. And now Chovy going to turn it onto Owner. He goes invisible, but it doesn't matter. The claw will still get you. And Chovy gets his second.
I mean, this is starting to become a very, very snowbally game here for Genji. 2 kills picked up for Lissandra early. And you have level 6 advantage. You know you can pull this off, and Faker gets away, but you turn it instantly onto Owner.
That's so well played.
You're always going to be under threat, and playing up like this at level down, as Owner was, is just a huge risk.
If Faker gets level 6 there... Dude, honestly, Faker kind of threw that, though.
Faker gets away.
If Faker gets level 6 there...
And you have level 6 advantage. You know you can pull this off, and Faker gets away, but you turn it
He just like gets to bully out Lissandra before she hits level 6.
And playing up like this at level down, as Owner was, is just a huge risk. And this play,
that's
as
so
mentioned,
unlucky.
starts off. Dora unfortunately goes for an early flash. This early on, the cooldown on Q is still long, so Zayas can't go in. And
Oh, dude.
there's just no way to live there, right? Like, with the summoner still available. That play, I think, very nicely executed, but this is just T1. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with what Faker is doing here, but Owner...
What? There's nothing wrong with what Faker is doing? Yeah, there is.
Right, like with the
Of course there is.
Available. That play, I think, very nicely executed, but this is just T1. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with what Faker.
But I would have never been able to like cast that, like, you know, color casting.
So far away from 6. It's just not winnable. It's just not a play you can make.
Not going to work out. And the Wukong, of course, this early on, not going to have that much of an impact. Of course, is one of those champions that does want to head towards level 6. Owner, of course, fantastic on this champion. Don't need to remind him of that one, but the 2v2, a little bit more difficult at that particular instance. The way that it was played by Gen.G, absolutely fantastic. But still, salvageable for T1. This is by no means over, but a worrying sign at the beginning.
It all depends on what state will Guma be in. But if the rest of Gen.G on top half is getting super fed and the map falls apart, you can reach this problem with single carry compositions, which, even though Faker is playing the Veigar, with how the early game has gone, I don't expect him to be the main carry here. You can run into this issue. Oh my god, if they can set Guma behind!
Guma is going to be able to flash. He's only level 5 though,
Jump,
as
Guma.
Carrier just going to protect him using the Abyssal Dive.
That's what needed to happen now.
See it here, but still, flash down, ghost down from the Jinx.
And this is a huge opportunity now for Gen.G to actually turn this game into their early Drake control. The Herald hasn't spawned yet. Owner has level 6, so finally he's relevant. Oh, but they're not going to be near him. Ignites there. Faker doesn't have TP. And Peanut has flash.
Claw going to come in here as level
But that's
5
so...
Gumayushi, he's just dead. The Glacial Prison
That's so
comes down.
predictable.
Carrier tries to escape, but he might die as well as the cell phone for Jovi to make sure that he stays alive. And they're continuing the dive. Carrier.
No, that was just a misplay from Chovy, no?
Prison comes. Level 5 for Carrier. Gumayushi, he's just dead. The Glacial Prison comes down. Carrier tries to escape, but he might die as well as the cell phone for Jovi to make sure that he stays alive. And they're continuing the dive. Carrier not going to be dived this easy as now Faker. He's going to flash Cage and Zayas. He's coming in as well.
Are you ready for the pain train? Dude, good job.
So when T1 are looking for more, great battle dance is going to save Delight's life. So in the end, it's actually just a 1-for-1 unless Flash does land the Q to Zayas, but T1 not going to die.
Now this is not without cost here for T1. Zayas is going to use his ultimate here and it's going to be out of lane. But this is the first T1 moment I feel like we've seen in this series where it looks like it's good.
So does it, and that solidifies the advantage for T1.
And T1, they're a team who will turn dives on their heads. And we've seen it so often without vision of where Zayas is. You do have to respect this and carry it by so much time he goes down there.
It's a good play. That's like a... That's what you would expect out of T1.
Is a T1 that looks vulnerable but turns these plays around. Now they have a gold lead. And what's really big as well is that, particularly when you're down 0-2, the fact that they're able to salvage that play is so big, because if they just get that dive, right, and Gen.G walk away without paying a cost, you're going to be feeling very, very bad. Particular, that ultimate from Guma is the big difference maker to me, getting the kill onto Peanut, because here, big disaster, obviously, for T1, really nicely set up dive here, but crucially, they go in for Carrier. Carrier is Kensho, he's going to be more than fine, and then a beautifully timed flash Cage. Combined with this, and Pay's actually making a crucial mistake with his sums and his Feather Storm up, doesn't opt to use it. And as a result, the extended trade is a 1-for-1, but then Guma
Oh, hits level 6 and just says that's where he is. Oh, just gorgeously played.
Now, in live, it appears to be the Drake did go over, of course, to Gen.G regardless. That is to say, it looked like they were taking it, but they have actually moved away. So now they're trying to rotate up here and defend this dive.
Yeah,
So Drake's still up.
Moving into position as Doran.
So good rotation here by T1.
Does have Meganar almost close, but he's just caught mid-hop, and that is Super Mega Death Rocket doing exactly its job once again. More plates going into Gumayusi. T1 coming alive here in this series as Faker inside his own cage. Peanut just throws the wrong direction, but that is Arctic Assault landing. They will be able to collect the kill onto Faker still. Never mind, he's going to skip that. It's an express line train, so never mind, doesn't stop at that station.
He's gotta pull the...
Getting fed, and this composition stands or falls by can the Jinx
Gonna pull the
get
bows.
right now.
Bows move.
1,500 gold lead here.
Just keep going.
Massive. Now, Zeus is going to come over here and scout out this Drake take.
Well, Doran is here. Zeus is going to move into the pit. Does have flash available, so he's not going to die, but he does still have to use that flash in order to get out.
Really
I'll take the Drake anyway.
Choice to actually lane swap back after Pays comes up here, because a lot of time was lost for Gen.G during this top side play. As everybody's going up top side, they give up control of the Drake. Doran is taken out here, so you're losing on both sides of the map.
Guma
here.
did.
But then you swap things back, you put the Scion onto the Drake. It's a bit of a bizarre call, and Faker goes down in the meantime. And T1 making the right choices to get Guma fed, getting that success on the top side, but everywhere else seems to be collapsing. And even just losing flash on the Scion there, being pushed away while Free Farm is going over to Pays. Yeah, 2 kills for Guma, but he's still farming well. He's not that far behind. It is a significant lead,
True.
but he's still going to do things as Zaya later on with the rest of the setup he has.
Well, Zeus in position one more time. Doesn't have ulti available. As Peanut looking to make his way in. Spots the Scion. And does want to get out. Arctic Assault going to
It's Gumayusi. Holy shit, that was...
what he used to get over there, so still had it available.
Oh, that was dangerous.
Moving into position now, though, as well, as T1 bearing down on Gen.G, not wanting to give up this lead on T1 at all. Now, Peanut has to use that Q one more time to get out.
It's a 4v4 in the bottom lane. It's just non-stop action, trying to get as much value to Guma as possible. They want this turret so badly. They've already gotten first brick. They want to set up for potentially more plate gold here on the bottom
First
side. And everybody's
brick.
grouped up. The top lane doesn't exist here, as both teams have identified Guma
Fucking hell,
is
get me
both
out,
the
dude.
threat, but also the saving grace here for T1.
Exactly. Pays now trying to desperately defend, but should be another plate going over to Gumayusi. And this Jinx is starting to become a huge issue. A thorn in Gen.G's side. As he takes a couple of turret shots, but he'll make it out. It'll be fine.
The Gumayusi.
There for Carrier as well, who does have level 7 now available. Kraken Slayer, huge here for Gumayusi right now.
And what's going to be the issue that Gen.G and the puzzle that they have to solve if they do actually want to get the series win here is, how do you kill Guma? Because your backline access with flanks can be amazing. Chovy in particular, obviously going to be really big. And Guma, crucially, also didn't go for cleanse. Now, when you have a Devour available, you can afford to do that more often than not. But unless you can somehow separate Carrier and Guma and Faker and Scion standing in front of him, right? You are going to have to find a way to deal with him.
Man, I want a fucking pro... Like, I want pro view.
Is already sitting on a Kraken.
Like a first-person view of Faker.
Because Jinx is one of the very few AD carries that didn't really benefit from the 2-item, like IE slash Quick Blades change that has been made, as doesn't get the cancel, unfortunately. But if you're 1,800 gold up, you're like, that's fine. I'll get to my free item spike relatively soon.
She didn't hit 3 items when you'd normally hit 2 items, you're pretty okay with it, right?
Nice.
Yeah, she hasn't really benefited from overheal either. So, you know, the lack of vision here is a bit scary.
Whole bunch of pings going down here as he puts down the flame chompers, but there's the permafrost. Chovy is just going to flash for it, not wanting to waste any time, and they just eviscerate Gumayusi in his own jungle. T1 unable to collapse quickly enough, but they were so close to getting there, just not quite.
It's one of those moments where the vision is not shown like that. It's terrifying, but Guma trusts his team is going to be able to come save him. He has the Tom Kench, but he's just so disconnected from him. And you talked about how
well
hard it is
done.
to kill a Jinx in this comp. The access is difficult, but when you
I love how Gen.G's also just being like so proactive.
Gen.G going to look to win this fight without the enemy AD carry.
They're going to contest.
Well, Faker has the cage. He's going to place it down now. Does find the Zaya with it. Dark Matter does a little bit of damage there as in goes Ona. I don't know whether he secured a Peanut.
Faker actually doesn't have a lot of stacks.
Without this Jinx,
Faker does not do a lot of damage.
Huge knock from Dorn, but another event horizon.
Ooh.
It's a big knock up as they take down the Gnar.
Guma's here now.
Chovy should be able to get himself out as Gumayushi is just running to catch up with his team, but owner for Doran, and it was
That was Karrion.
up by Peanut there, the Rift Herald.
And Owner will end up going down, as you point out. What was big, though? Guma going down there was unfortunate. Will lead to the Herald go down, but he did save his flash. I actually think that's the right call. I don't know if he ever gets out here. And with his flash available, the amount of safety that he has in the upcoming fight for the Dragon...
What? With flash, he literally just gets out here.
Want to try and contest that as... So Delight, look, note the cancel actually there on the W. Really, really nicely done.
Oh, yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
That's why Keria wasn't able to appear there and look for the Devourer. Maybe Keria flash, or rather Guma flashes to him if he's able to get over there, but he does not. As this is an engage here from Owner where he gets into the back of the pit here, but unfortunately without an 80 carry.
I actually didn't see that. That's quite important, the Rakan.
Keria when the cage is set though. In T1, I think they did this about as well as you could have ever hoped to do without an 80 carry. As this is that knockup.
Oh, that knockup was so important.
It's a ton of damage here. And you can imagine if Guma is here, it's a different story.
Yeah, crucial there was that pace. While he did get the kill on Owner, probably should have helped the rest of his team.
Wait, that knockup wasn't important, actually. It just looked good, but it actually didn't do much, right?
About as well as you could have ever hoped to do without an 80 carry. It's just that
No, that was important. It actually helped them inside of the W. That was just like Veigar W.
It's a different story.
Yeah, crucial there was that pace. While he did get the kill on Owner, probably should have helped the rest of his team. They didn't choose to do so, so they were lacking damage. And into Kanch and Sion, you're not going to take him down with just Lissandra.
Well, now Gen G have started up yet another objective. T1 now with the Jinx available. This is going to be a very different story. Super Mega
Oh!
get the steal.
So close.
By Peanut. We have Mountain Soul. Oh man, Souls have been phenomenal this series so far. Just alluding to the lack of Chemtech, basically. As this outer turret now under siege. T1 looking for any sort of advantage after losing out on that fight. Is now Frozen Tomb going to be used? But
Did we just ult?
Tanking the turret does have to flash because that Glacial Prison would have been his tomb. As okay, Owner looking for an opportunity. The Doran's in the bottom lane, and in the meantime, he is just clearing up these structures. Event Horizon comes through. Chovy not quite slowed down enough.
Oh my god, they're not gonna get it. Oh my god, that's so bad, dude. T1 is now shared XP for all those waves.
Nothing here yet for Zeus, and so far away from any real.
And they're gonna have to share another cannon wave between the, like, everyone.
Now flashless. His agency is so low.
Okay. I think you just...
Into the mid lane. T1 still bearing down on this turret. It is quite low. The siege is going to discontinue at this point. Gen G have weathered the storm for now.
Dude, that's such a, like, hard force, though.
Not only does he have a call, but he's also been able to actually pick up his farm. Zeus, with his roam towards the bot side of the map, already dropped a decent amount of CS, but also T1, which I think is the right call, have just been funneling everything into Guma, right? The reason why I think that we see FaZe is still able to keep up because Gen G have been able to take Guma down twice already. But
very far up, no flash for FaZe.
Oh!
Yeah, Owner is going to get snared up by the Ring of Frost. The Claw is going to get them out as FaZe is slowed down. This could be the opportunity. Featherstorm has to be used. Flame Chompers almost catch him as he comes down.
What is that sign?
Death Rocket flies off just a little bit wide. But yeah, Doran is still just hitting things in the bottom. Storm has to be used. Flame Chompers. The Claw is going to get them out as FaZe is slowed down. Could be the opportunity. Featherstorm has to be used. Flame Chompers almost catch him as he comes down. Super Mega Death Rocket flies off just a little bit wide. But yeah, Doran is still just hitting things in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, build a hull breaker.
He might.
Now they're still going to lose the mid turret here, but I think Gen G fairly lucky that they were able to get out there with FaZe because he had no flash. Peanut was flanking. There wasn't any peel there. T1 were able to identify it, but his positioning against these rockets has been pretty phenomenal. He's able to dodge that, and T1 don't get everything they were looking for, but they still get the mid turret.
Rift Herald was just timing out here as well. So in the middle of the lane, Shirley is going to be popped down. Carrier looking to try and stop it from getting the charge. And I think they might be able to do so. Teleports come through to try and save the moment. He's going to get in here. Doesn't have Featherstorm, remember, as T1. They should be, no, they're not going to be able to stop it. The Devour has to come through, but Carrier is going to be quickness. And the Scion, he's surviving for so long till Light gets out. Peanut gets out. No one dies. It's fine. Never mind. It's okay.
All good, all good.
Yeah. This is chill. It's just a trade. It's obvious. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Well, luckily for T1, there's no objective up right now, or this would have been more than just a turret going down, but both solo laners committing teleport here to try to stop this turret from going down, in Genji's case, to make sure it goes down. And it looked really scary there for T1 for just a moment because you're moving.
I don't know what to think about that.
On the turret surviving, and because it did not, they were very vulnerable. Zeus, being as tanky as he is, even without a mythic, is able to survive, but a lot of map control given to Genji here.
What the fuck is this item build?
Flash devoured it. Using the defensive cooldown. They might have wanted to save for Guma. We also saw that if Genji threw everything into a front line, even if they almost kill it.
Beautiful.
If you just let Guma auto, you're not going to win the fights. And there were, remember, down Doran wasn't there. But still, something they need to be very mindful of. You need to make sure that Guma, even if you don't kill him, is zoned out from just hitting everyone, particularly with Runans, right? Like, getting a reset, getting excited is so easy as, oh no, Faker. Does he not?
No vision whatsoever, none.
He has an inkling as to what's going on here as Peanut is taking this Gromp right now. Genji going to give up on the situation.
Alright, it's been called off. If they try to dive Faker there, they just all die because he has stopwatch.
And he's actually been taking a lot of the red side jungle here too, so he's picked up so much money. He's actually becoming a second AD carry threat in this game, in fact, and with the amount of gold that Chovy has, he actually doesn't need that much farm this game. This is one of those rare games where Chovy has less farm than Doran because he has so much money anyways, and he's got the critical parts of this Lissandra build. He's got 2 Zonias with his ult basically.
He's full build. That's full build Lissandra. Like, he doesn't need anything else.
So Genji are really using the economy of the map incredibly well here, and Peanut also, very low eco, doesn't need that jungle, so Doran's just taking it all. And T1, yeah, Faker lives, but it's not a free win. You know, it comes at a cost, and the main cost is bottom side control. Genji also have tons of vision here on Baron, so it's hard for T1 to try to trade objectives.
Well, I've got one word for you, gentlemen. Double infinite scaling. See whether T1 can take it really long. Doran's going to get caught out. Immediate cyclone, and they shut him down. They see 1 second of opportunity, and they pounce.
No crackers.
Very clean, and T1...
I really hope T1 bans Gragas in game 4. I think this one kind of shows, right? Like, it's just the Gragas, it's not Doran.
Which will help Guma with some baseline defensiveness. They also have Sion, Tom Kench, and a Wukong. So they're going to be very, very happy if they're able to stack up multiple. And I think for both these compositions, playing into Mountain Soul feels very, very obnoxious. As Faker, actually the one that starts us up, the slow comes through from Zeus. And yeah,
I still wish like FFing was a thing. I still wish like people could just FF in pro play.
Able to pick up the Drake.
Oh, that's an immediate knock-up onto Carrier here, but the event horizon is down. Carrier can eat the Grey Health. Can he get out? No, he cannot. Doran gets his immediate revenge. As now Chovy behind his thralls. Yeah, they're going to look for that Baron opportunity. Floor is going to be utilized, and now can the Wukong get into position?
No Devour. Yeah, no flash, no Devour here for Guma, and they have vision in both choke points. The approach is so difficult here for T1.
They're still going to go for it, as T1 know exactly where they are at least. Claw now on cooldown for a moment, but the Baron is getting lower and lower.
Doran doesn't have any charge. So bad, dude. What the fuck? Wait, why is he not getting charge? Why does Doran still not have charge?
The brush is fantastic as Chovy tries to get it done, but he's not going to be able to. Zeus just hitting whatever he can find. It's T1. They won the team fight. The Baron still going to be there on multiple members of T1.
What a fantastic ult there from Paze at the end of it. Double smite means that this is such a risky Baron to take. We've seen teams like KT Rolster fall prey to this, but Genji win the fight swimmingly.
Doran.
Yeah, Faker looking for a wraparound.
Yeah, Doran able to path towards the bottom half of the map. They didn't have vision there, so doesn't get caught off there by Faker. will be able to make his way out. And really big win there for T1, even with Carrier getting taken down at the start of that. Again, Delight having a wonderful series and the rest of the team immediately ready to follow up. It's only Carrier that they lose, which means that T1 still feels safe to walk up, right? To actually contest this.
And look at Faker's positioning for the double smite here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Owner is able to work
So much less lethality here for Genji's team comp.
The fight. There's an easy opportunity here for the double smite. And Peanut's unable to secure the objective. And yeah, you lose the fight after this one. But still a huge win here for T1 in terms of shutting this Baron down.
Faker, Peanut, Owner. That was the smite orders. We've got a fight in live here as well as we're watching the replay. Event Horizon not going to find any targets as Gen.G finding themselves on the ropes. T1 moving back into a gold advantage.
Ooh.
And they're going to find
That's
a
just,
pick up onto
yeah.
Delight as well. He's
It's just dead.
grabbing another one. More cyclones coming.
And actually, Delight's pretty instrumental to keeping things in range here.
Chovy's on the other side of the map. Doesn't have teleport, so has to back here. He's going to take forever to get here. This should at least be an inhibitor going down. T1 turning a lost fight here with a Baron into a massive objective.
Oh, Chovy actually stuck around, calling the bluff.
Yeah, kind of like that, I guess, but he's not going to be able to get this turret. Going to run out of minions a little bit. Oh, no, never mind. We're now trying to stop the backs here on Gen.G's side. Difficult when they're empowered, but it looks like it's given Chovy enough time
it's
to
nice.
collect this, unless
Honestly, I like it.
Should be able to avoid it. And there we
Oh,
go.
interesting.
So
Chovy actually... What?
T1 now allowed.
That's actually not very on point of them to not communicate it.
Close game we have on our hands here. And, you know, 3 items on this carry of Guma. He's reached the breaking point here where he has LDR. He could do a ton of damage to the front line. So
But this is not Choky. This is like pro gamer Chovy. This is the not solo queue Chovy. He actually prioritizes safety.
Sieging up here. They have Zeus in the front line. Cage hits to light here. There's just no saving him. And there's so much follow-up damage that once the Jinx is excited in moments like this, you just can't turn around. You can't re-engage.
Can't do it. Gen.G still in a position where they are within touching distance, but this is where I think the compositional difference really comes in, right? Where T1, with the lead that they have on Guma, 3 items done now, has his Lord Dominix as well, so he's going to shred even through the tankier members, Peanut and Doran, very, very quickly. As long as they can keep Guma safe, it becomes so hard for Gen.G to win any fight. And Gen.G, they can't just sit around, right? The poke from this Jinx, the rockets are going to chunk you down.
Not to mention the fact that their siege is still very good. Battle Dance to get them out of the way there as the Flame Trump is connected onto Delight, but he will be okay for the moment. Yeah, this is the huge problem because it doesn't just mean that fights are
Xayah doesn't match up super good into Jinx anyhow.
very difficult when you have range disadvantages.
It's not bad by any means, but
Do like he's going to get denied potentially.
yeah, that's a cancel. That's a really good buy. And this is very well done. This is the T1 that I know. They know there's no AD carry gonna be here, so they know they have a man advantage, and they just move in.
just delivered, and he is so excited now as this Jinx tearing apart the base.
Trying to go through bot to end.
Yeah, do they have
They're actually going for the throat. Holy shit.
That would be pretty huge potential.
No way though.
Peanut going to get chunked out. Okay, a lot of damage
Oh my god, Gumayushi. Okay. Faker finding the kill onto Peanut.
The burst of damage onto his former teammate
Wait.
is going to take him down as now inhibitor turret going
They're actually baiting him in, dude. What is Doran doing?
And Gumayushi once again excited just walks out of the grand entrance, and Delight is going to have to walk out of that fight. And now T1, they're going to try it again.
Ah, it's fucking over, dude.
I think we got a series on our hands.
I think so. Hold up your hands, ladies and gentlemen. This is at least going to 4 as T1 Super Mega Death Rockets fly in. That is the execution of Pays. And Gumayushi, he can take down the Nexus now if you would like to. We'll see where they
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!
Jovi finding a massive amount of opportunity.
Okay, Sign was still alive, but like, holy shit, dude. Oh, that was scary. Brrr.
Red side.
Brr, brr, brr.
You talk about Champion Oceans. Faker is the man with the largest one in LCK history. We'll see whether that is going to be the linchpin that they can use, they can wield against Gen.G here as Lucian continuing to be banned away, has been banned every single game. Against
Also,
Gumishi.
Chovster, same thing though. I think Chovy can probably play everything. I don't remember him like failing on a certain pick. Of course he can't play anything. Like you can't play anything because it's practice, right? But
will Pays be allowed to play Varus, for example? That could really hurt your chances here as T1 having the lane control that you've been so reliant on, even in those losses for Gumishi. And they will prefer banning the Wukong. The Varus is up and available.
As is Cassante, as is Gragas. Now, B1 Gragas I'm not expecting, but the Cassante wouldn't surprise me. It's a
oh, that's the Cassante again.
Genji's at utilizing it. And that does mean that T1
Faker hasn't been blowing me away really in these games.
We know how good Faker is at Gragas. Something that he pulled out, and he's still the mid laner that I think looked the best on it.
What about the classic T1? Just Jace Gragas. Where are these champions going? We don't know.
Yeah, I would have loved to see Gragas.
The problem with that is it splits your 80 carry pool on red side. You know, if you grab both of those picks, then your 80 carry is going to be supportless. And Ari will come through for Faker for the first time here, prioritizing it very highly. This definitely feels like it's going to be Chovy playing the Cassante mid, as this has been an answer to the Ari so much here in our playoffs.
What I do love is that T1 is almost never going to run into Lissandra here, because if Genji pick it, you give away...
I like it. Genji's going for the simple, like, CC teamfight comp again, right?
Cassante is going, taking away a lot of power as... Oh, Pays!
All right, he's like, oh, Jinx is the best right now. As Gumishi, of course, smacked him in the previous game. Jinx of Belios.
Didn't really smack him, though.
We go forward the further we dip back in time, gentlemen.
And this becomes very complex to play out now as T1. The classic Thresh pick that we expected to see the last time we were seeing this Ari coming through could be locked in here for T1. You have the Aphelios Thresh. You have the ability for the Ari to make...
Dude, Kuma seems like he's kind of suffering, dude.
Lee Sin into Maokai.
What?
In the early game, but later on, your agency drops massively because Maokai could just root you and prevent you from playing the game. You've got to go through a big front line here. And now the Thresh pick highly contested between...
Bro, how is Lee Sin ever going to contest Jinx already and we don't even see the support?
Malphite also, stock is going up big time in this draft.
Yeah, I was about to say, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a Kench and a fresh ban away to ensure that Pace doesn't have the safety that Guma had in the previous game. As good as Jinx is, the reason why it worked was because of all the peel available. Now, still, very beefy front line here. But for T1, might even be saving that counter pick here for carry out on R5.
There's the Malphite ban I was alluding to, too, taking that away. Because you know you're going to lose those protections for the Jinx, but you can at least eliminate some of the threats, because Lee Sin Ari is already so much damage and so much pick. And you have a Cassante to peel, you have a Maokai who could peel somewhat decently here, but you just want to make sure that this Jinx is your win.
I mean, T1 actually just needs to go like as aggro as they can with what they've drafted here, no?
With what Genji has set up in this draft, they've kept it hidden.
Just go like as ham as possible.
T1, they want the Thresh. I was half expecting a Gragas to be banned away here to prevent Doran from being able to go back on that. We think almost guaranteed. Like, I know, Doran absolutely phenomenal. On the Cassante, Chovy loves playing melees, man. He'd love to pick that one up into this mid lane. And Thresh is going to be the ban. So T1, what are you pairing with the Aphelios? And there is the Braum from Carrier. We've seen this in clutch moments many times. You can block so much that Genji is going to be throwing at you. Of course, the Nature's Grasp being a big one, and Delight thinking that it might be his time to go back to an old favorite. You don't care about doors if you can just slide on underneath.
And one thing that is to be noted is that Braum Blind does mean that you can go for Lulu and not really be punished. Does mean that Delight is often engaged support, which really has been a big success for Genji. And the T1 composition, barring an Ornn or a Sign pickup, is really going to be lacking in hard engage. Pick is amazing. Counter engage great as well as Chovy.
All right, Tristana is going to be the choice. That confirms Cassante for the top lane. See what Zeus has prepared for us. So many things left available.
It's looking like it's just going to be a tank pick here to try to front to back this.
I mean, it has to, yeah.
Long range engage. Some
there's no way you...
In terms of those ornaments, the extra damage here, great for early objective control.
Honest, I think the better...
Consider Maokai isn't going to be as high impact as the Lee Sin in the early game. And while this Tristana pick is going to be designed to get Pryo, push this mid lane and give more agency to Peanut. He's often going to have to hover this mid lane because Ahri is a champion that can shut down Tristana with a well-placed charm. If Owner is there, the damage is absolutely there for T1 to turn this lane on its head. And for Gen G, when you look at the engage opportunities here, you have long-range engage of Maokai, you have the follow-up, but the Kasante's agency in this trap, you have wild growth, but you're running into...
I don't know. I don't like this team comp so much.
T1 backs against the wall, but the fans, every single T1 fan here in the stadium, top of their lungs with these fan chants. Fantastic to see all of the support. And I think, honestly, some of the Gen G fans probably cheering as well. They're like, this series has been so good, just give us some more games.
True.
This has been absolutely incredible thus far. A reverse sweep for T1 in their first grand final since the one that they lost against DRX at the World Championship. Now that would be poetic. They have to get through Gen G in this game first, and against this adorable little firefighter here as well in the mid lane. Chovy picking the best skin for Tristana, and also picking the Tristana in general, which is a aggressive choice, one could say.
And it's not, despite Chovy's very eclectic champion pool and how he's often a pioneer of new meta picks, it was Bulldog who played the pick first in the Kassadin meta early on this season. Chovy's only played it once, so even though it's been very popular recently, not only in the LCK but in other regions, it's not a pick you associate with Chovy and lane dominance. Faker on the Ahri, however, feels like comfort, and as was mentioned, it's the first time Faker has a ton of agency here in this draft. He's been mostly utility this entire time. I was calling for something like an Ahri, like a LeBlanc, and in this fourth game, we're going to see it.
I would have loved to see a LeBlanc.
Of T1, that was one of the big reasons why they won the previous game. Every time Gen G made a mistake, they didn't just try and punish them, they forced them to respond, and then would go for another trade, and another, and Gen G was clearly caught off guard, playing very differently. I do think, though, that as you point out, this Tristana, when it comes to lane dominance, can be very obnoxious to play into. And with Pryo in...
Yeah, but it's an okay matchup for Ahri. Doesn't really care.
Enable the rest of the map very, very well. Most notably because if they can keep early track of Owner, the T1 impact is definitely going to be a little bit more rough as Zeus is signing it up here in the top lane.
Yep. Not really something we're going to need to pay too much attention to, but this is interesting here on the bottom side. The range advantage for Pays and Delight paying off, as I believe they missed that cannon. We tried to pan away from it as soon as possible, but still, Gen G being able to shove in all of these waves have already got out to a bit of a gold advantage.
So there will be a timing here where Faker has level 6 and Peanut does not, and he will have an opportunity at that moment to try to make a play. Could have gone for level 3 to get some pressure removed here, but Owner's just going to leave him out to dry and look for a topside punish instead here on that push from Doran. Lane Pryo here in all 3 lanes from T1, so Owner is going to have to make the tough call, and topside is the angle he's looking for here. Maybe he can relieve some of that pressure, but we're still a ways away from Faker having more agency here. Charm hits?
Yeah, really nice charm there from Faker to try and offer some damage back. Not a whole lot of damage at this point in the game, but...
Yeah, it's hard to trade back for Ahri at this point of the game.
On this bottom side, clear up these little rocks as he moves towards his bottom lane. Vision in place here for T1, so they shouldn't be under too much threat.
And I actually think it's a fun discussion to have about the late game, because looking at the Gen G composition, I actually think if the early game doesn't get snowballed by T1, like the power of 2 hyper-scaling carries with double frontline and Alulu is something that I very highly value, particularly because it's really come down to...
That was a good trade by Guma. You saw what he did there, right? That was pretty smart.
Way around the fact that their hard engage is somewhat limited. Their pick potential is amazing, right? And particularly early on, like skirmishing with Grom, Ahri, and Lee.
Yeah, they need to get ahead early on here, get the Ahri ahead.
After how the previous few games played out, I'd be wondering to see whether T1 is actually going to find those aggressive angles.
Yeah, another thing as well is the fact that it's Gumayushi back on his Aphelios. Of course, like, we were talking about this for so long, about how incredibly good he is at this champion. And once again, huge comfort. The first time that he's played it in this series, of course, Pays playing it earlier.
Dude, they have not talked about Pays, Delight, or Peanut at all. They're talking about Chovy and, like, maybe Doran. And the rest is just SKT.
No flashes required. No flash from either player. And you can see Doran's hands off the keyboard there. Definitely feel a little bit sheepish about this one. And I mentioned the Oran's agency on first Rift Herald fight, some of those early skirmishes. The Scion's still going to be very useful here. But if you get a kill like this, you start stacking that armor early, oppositely of how we talked about how it could be a problem and your armor isn't going to be effective if Gen G fall ahead.
But it's Jinx Lulu with Tristana, dude. Like, this is literally double Kraken Slayer, most likely. Could be Gale Force, but most likely Kraken Slayer.
Like the Ornhorn ultimate to set them up.
And I don't know, gentlemen, I am getting flashbacks from yesterday. Game number 1, getting solo killed by a Scion, starting things off a bit rough here for the top laner of Gen G. And we're going to see it once again from the Scion perspective here. Zeus just cleaning him up. It just looks so comfortable.
Just dodging every Q. So well played. If those connect, Doran wins the exchange, but none of them do. Not the way he needs them to. And T1 here on the bottom side, despite early...
Yeah, I mean, the Lee Sin pretty much guarantees like the early dragon, so this is kind of fine. This is the best dragon to get early. This is really nice, right? They're getting a Hextech dragon here.
But he's got the Ignite set, and he could have looked for something there. They respect it, but it means they're going to lose control of the Drake. And now suddenly, we went from 3-lane prio to none.
And important here is that the Hextech Drake, already taken by T1, very strong individual Drake on this current patch, is of course on the chopping block for the future one, so meaning T1 get a couple.
Got nerfed in like life, but also still strong.
And Gen G with this call on Chovy also
just nerfed, but strong.
To say, hey, we're not looking to fight and contest early. We're not looking to contest before we finish our call, before we get our one-item spikes. But against T1, that is risky, and as you were pointing out, Wolf, if this Scion gets a kill or two and starts to snowball, and Gen G can't contest anything in the mid-game, they're not going to be able to team fight at all.
Yeah, and buying a call here as Tristana is now they both have level 6. Chovy needs to be so respectful.
Yeah, there's a lot of calls in this game, actually, as Faker is just going to charm forward.
Oh.
He's after the flash, the king well and truly prepared, and that's Owner's Lee Sin, ladies and gentlemen.
You only get one Buster shot. You only get one. He's going to be able to get the follow Q through, and Chovy goes down, and buying the call alone is already basically saying,
that was beautiful.
I'm just looking for money for free elsewhere by the item coming through. Not
very
from
good.
Kills, not from getting plates. Now he's killed here with a gank from Owner. And this is disastrous for the early game of Gen G.
Really big there as well is that Chovy invests his flash. So that means that the follow-up play is still going to be there here for Faker. A flash and charm now going to be a lot harder to deal with, as this play actually starts off with Chovy being the aggressor here, Faker being completely fine, and then here, as soon as he comes in, right, like Chovy knows that this play is coming up, tries to go for the flash early, expecting, but Faker holds, and the follow-up here is amazing. This is why we see this Liari combo and T1 executed beautifully.
Owner's Lee Sin is an absolute joy to watch, and there is a lot on his shoulders
well
this
done.
game, because you mentioned the late game
it's
is
not enough,
a
though.
difficult thing for T1 to navigate. Not if they're fed out of their minds, guys. That'd be absolutely
wait, shouldn't T1 win this? Dude, oh my god, the Maokai is so good. Yeah. Nice. Nice T1, but still very big. Like, Peanut Ultimate's just so strong, dude.
You don't have your Jinx with you, and I think this composition really
Fuck was that charm?
Damage if you're going to actually fight this, because T1 have such great CC.
My god, people are so hyped.
Crowd is
Yo, Pace is ahead. What the hell?
Because they know that they've got such a nice advantage in this game, and if something doesn't change very soon here, T1 is bringing us to 5, and I know we're talking about the sub 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's a wave.
The they have in this game, the money they've picked up here is just immaculate. And look at this fight. You don't actually have the health bar here on Doran because he's tanking this. He survives, but look at the follow-up. There's none.
There's actually a misplay by Owner.
Follow-up damage, and the Tristana alone this early in the game.
He needs to constantly stay behind the Brom there, and then they actually can get the 50-50.
That means that there's no damage available. If Tristana can start resetting, you saw the health bars, they were actually relatively low. With the Lulu there, could have been an opportunity, but instead, they shut him down very early on. As set player from Gen G.
Yeah, everyone.
Wait, Carrier? Hello?
Sure
no, what? Guma?
Nature's Wrath to come forward. That is the guarantee on the charge. Can they find more, though? It's Carrier going down relatively low, but just going to stand beside his teammates. He should be fine. Faker misses.
If that charm hits,
Chovy could have been devastating.
Yeah.
In the end, a few plates go over to Gen G. T1 unable to find any picks.
Yeah, Doran on the top side of the map was just proxying minions between the turrets, and you know it's going to give you a tiny edge here, but nothing too significant. At the end of the day, at least FaZe is picking up money here, and his call is about to complete. This is a really huge win for FaZe here. Picks it up right before the back timing. That's massive. You often leave just one, and you can't get the item you're looking for.
Well, Doran looking for some cues on to Zeus, who seems immune. He just, like, walks past him. And you can see Doran's given up. He's like, nah, I'm, I guess...
Sunfire.
I will aim for the minion wave. Yeah, Sunfire Cape is the most powerful damage item in the game, by the way,
Zeus has
everyone.
ult and flash. Doran has to be so respectful here.
See whether he can actually get out of the way as he clears out the minions. And Zeus just has full control of everything in this top lane.
Zeus doing a good job.
As well, like another kill in that skirmish went over to Zeus, and into this type of setup from Gen G specifically, that's huge because you can't really ignore the sign. You need to work your way through the front line if you really want to be able to use your range advantage. Chovy and Paze in many fights are going to be try and looking for resets, right?
Oh.
Get a kill for Paze, get a kill for Chovy. But if you're hitting a Cyan,
Chovy's actually going
sitting on Sunfire,
shield bomb.
Steel caps next.
Ooh, that means the sign could be a really big issue. I mean, Jinx is like reasonably ahead though. Together with the Lulu, she's gonna be fine.
In this crucial game number 4, looking really, really good. And if you get a Mountain Drake on top of that as well.
Yeah, my concern with this Tristana pick was going to be always if they could actually accelerate with it, because into Ahri, it's not a matchup that Tristana just default wins. It's not a Kassadin matchup. You're not just playing into a weak side control mage where you're just like, all right, well, I'm going to push through. I'm going to get plates no matter what. You need help from your jungler. An owner playing with the best next to Viego, arguably, in this meta. Setup jungler for Ahri means the agency just isn't there for Peanut. He doesn't show up defensively. And now Chovy is down 0-2. The Tristana pick is completely worthless. The top side of the map is completely in shambles here for Doran as well, as mentioned. And the win conditions are so thin, so narrow here now without magic damage because a Jinx can be your carry. It's not in this situation, not when you're this far behind, unless T1 really make critical mistakes. When you add in the fact that right now it's already a 2,000 gold lead across the board, a 2 Drake lead, where's the angle here?
It's hard to find. I mean, I guess you're hanging on to the fact that it's an Ocean Soul. It's not the most pivotal.
You're hanging on to the fact that you have a Lulu together with that Jinx.
If T1 stacks up those, it's almost just GG by itself. Maybe not necessarily the case, and if Chovy gets to level 18 and has 3
Ocean Soul doesn't really do anything.
Is pretty crazy as Doran looking for an
Ocean Soul usually only does something from what I...
He's the most nimble Scion in the universe.
Chovy not going to lose
for an opportunity, but he just can't hit this Scion with a Q. It's impossible, apparently. He's the most nimble Scion in the universe.
Lose too much for this, just leaving lane for a moment. We'll still be able to catch this wave, but it's going to get chunked.
Yeah, Everfrost is good here from Faker. Chovy remains underneath this turret. You can feel the momentum shift, the tempo shift in this game and in the series. Gen G need to find a way in.
And the one Hail Mary here for Gen G, and the reason why I think that they're holding on.
I think that Gen G still has a lot of options, because Owner is only a little bit ahead.
All eggs are just in the Pace basket now, right? He is still in a great spot, has his Kraken Slayer, finished his call, was able to pick up a ton of Blade Gold as well, even though some of it was shared with Peanut. And if they can get him to free items, I think there is an angle. But the problem is that ideally, to really abuse your range, you'd want to go for rapid fire seconds and then go for LDR. But that means that you're lacking that crucial IE spike. But if you go IE and LDR, then you're going to have to be a lot more surefire about your positioning because the extra, or the lack of extra range is really going to make a difference. And with this, basically confirmation that it will be rapid fire. So even though the free spike with what I assume will be LBR will still be good, it's not quite going to have the same punch, so it means that Gen G really needs to out-teamfight T1. So as long as T1, which what they've been doing expertly right now, is early to objectives, not a lot of angles for Gen G.
Yeah, it looks like Chovy here, he does have Unleashed Teleport, wants to try to get this turret and then maybe come over and help out with the Rift Herald, but T1 just have so much control right now, and Faker's going to even be able to push him away. I think he's not going to get the turret. They're not going to be able to contest this Rift Herald. And you need to get this money into the Tristana's pocket because she's so far behind.
I don't think Rift matters.
This, and Chovy could just deny a teleport if he tries to come over, or rather Faker could deny his teleport, that is to say. Faker's actually just rotating up.
Mid lane's pretty low actually, blue side mid lane.
Give it up. I don't think Shirley's worth losing the game over, to be perfectly honest.
Faker.
Super Mega Death Rocket just to see as Everfrost is going to come down, slows up Delight, gets the cleanse out, sorry, gets the flash out. As Zeus, Train's going to come on through. Flame Chompers do some work, but Zeus just does not care about taking damage at this point in time because he just doesn't take very much of it. Shirley's going to come down and break open this turret.
He got it!
Okay, first turret blood does go over to Chovy, so there is at least that. But Gen G, they take the more important turret on the map.
Yeah, not only that.
Look to try and
very good Maokai ultimate here.
Does so with the W quite nicely as Shirley eventually goes down, but T1 is still here. They have another minion wave. Moonlight Vigil comes in just for the poke damage, and now Chovy is out of there. So they get a fair bit of damage on this inner turret, but otherwise just backing away.
I mean, Chovy gets the first turret, but again, how much does it really matter here if you're losing all of your map control? And it was optimistic for Peanut to hope for the ultimate here follow-up to kill this Scion. The positioning is too good. No one is really caught by the ultimate, but Zeus.
Yeah, the ultimate wasn't as good as I thought.
He's got us on fire. He just doesn't care. He's level 12 sitting pretty at the front line, and there isn't any way to kill this Scion. So T1, if they're just half a second faster, they'll also get first brick. But the lead just compiles, and grabbing Kraken Slayer now at 16 minutes on your Tristana is not the spike you were looking for. You were hoping for some explosive fights early. That just didn't happen.
And what's important here is that T1 rather also keeps snowballing, right? As mentioned, I think there's item breakpoints where Chovy and Pace can start taking over the game, but by taking mid lane turret, you make it so much harder to try and keep any semblance of control. And denying turrets like this to Chovy, very, very big, making sure that he can't farm his way into side.
It is double Kraken.
Even though Ocean Soul isn't the highest value, if you're running a composition with Scion and he can just take any beating that you throw at him, you're still going to be very happy.
Absolutely. Now T1 setting up for this Soul Point fight. Ona landing a Q here, a lot of extra brushes with the gorgeous Ocean Rift that we have on display here. Gen G don't really like the look of it too much because it is dark and it is scary. As Faker getting a charm over, doesn't land Orb of Deception there as the kitty cat slows down the fox.
They want to contest this Ocean Soul Point here. They even commit the teleport here for Chovy, but the positioning is so rough right now.
Oh, Prio.
Yep, Zeus, he can get there at a moment's notice as well. He can just turn on the train as Gen G. They do get them out of the way. Zap lands on Gumayusi. That's actually decent. As Pays and Chovy, both 80 carries, trying to get some autos in where they can. Peanut in position as well. As Orb of Deception goes down, Doran does manage to get out of there with his unstoppable. As Faker just dives on forward, finds the Everfrost.
Oh, Faker actually got. Faker actually got.
Faker gonna be taken down. Moonlight Vigil does a lot of damage though, and they have to be careful. Carrier with the disengages. Ona possibly caught out. Chovy diving forward. The train's gonna come in. He wants to save his jungler, and I think he's gonna do
Peanut's
so.
dead, yeah.
That
was a really good turnaround. Oh no! Hell! Oh, very good job by Owner. What the hell? Wait, they're actually fighting? No, you don't win!
Last man standing and Gen G win the fight.
Last man standing here, and they are going to be able to take this Drake. A lot of heroics here on the side of T1, and Owner looking to turn this one around and actually win the fight, essentially single-handedly. But we have to remember how the fight started, which was by Faker getting caught. He went in to try to look for the pick, but they were so ready. Guma?
Oh, they are not going to be able to do it. Chovy going to be able to land that auto, gets the explosive charge, and that secures the Dragon. Peanut had just left. He's like, he's not interested.
Watch the setup here for Gen G when Faker decides to go in. They have all the angles covered here, and he's just instantly locked down. Doran pulls him into the middle. Its stopwatch timing is amazing, and Peanut's ult is expended, but the fight is essentially won at this moment. Now T1, with some amazing heroic plays from Owner and Guma surviving here, does turn this around a little bit, but ultimately you are going to lose out to this Tristana with resets.
Crucially there, right? Doran actually gets Faker as he dashes over the wall, interrupts him, gets him before that happens. Really good self from the light. And then this is the point where T1 might have crucially overstepped. And if this play from Owner doesn't happen, it's an actual disaster.
So this, now it's just like, okay, whatever, man. Just don't fight it.
Right, and even with that, it's so close here, but Chovy actually able to stay alive here throughout it all. Doran tanking up so much damage, and with Lulu, the extra survivability makes such a big difference. And now all of a sudden, Chovy is fed.
He is. Now Pays getting some damage onto Carrier. Good door placement. Make sure that he doesn't take too much of it. As this inner turret under fire. Faker moving on in, but he's going to go back because this inner turret has been taken out and they need to defend as Chovy's getting to work on this one. Teleport to come in as well, just to make sure as Charm connects. Doran not too worried about it, but does still take a fair bit of damage there. Frozen Fists actually built up for both of our top laners.
Yeah, and considering, you know, how much of this game is about the 80 carries and that armor is so required, I do like the choice. Additional slow is going to be helpful too, but looking at the game state right now, I mean, T1 just lost a ton of momentum from a fight they forced.
Yeah, that's really rough, dude. Faker misplayed that very hard.
So has a little bit more agency once again. You know, stopwatch broken. Now he's got a zone here, so he could try for these again. But Genji just seemed so well prepared to deal with it. And I think that you don't have to force these types of fights. You could just front to back with your Scion that's fed. Bit of an error from T1, and not to say that the game has swiftly gone back to Genji, but a lot of wind out of your sails now.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, Aphelios is so much weaker than Jinx right now.
Towards this Baron pit, you know, T1, it's 21 minutes. You know, they want to be going towards this Baron. Decent guns for Gumyushi as well.
It's been up for a minute and a half.
I know.
Can you get to it, please?
They are way too late. As Owner is going to look for Chovy. Chovy just gets over the wall, though. Explosive charge, Owner is going to move out of the way. It does actually a fair bit of damage at this point in time if he lands it onto a squishy. Not actually very many squishies in the area, but still. You want to protect them.
Yeah, a bit of a wedge through the jungle here for T1 that both allows the top side push for Faker and Guma to continue pushing mid and safely farm. Now they have this Baron prio. They can use this as a back tool because they don't want to start this up right now, but they can force Genji to come over here.
Yeah, they need...
Vision. This allows them to freely back.
They need Infinity Edge. Yeah. Okay, now Gumyushi has Infinity Edge.
Still a game that Genji could take, but it is going to take a lot of time and a lot of farming.
Also see Pace going for, instead of Rapid Fire, actually going like Guma previously for the Runan, so makes it a lot easier to actually get those resets, start getting excited. And you're probably going to be hitting multiple front lines with Zeus and Carrier the way the team fights are expected to go. And yeah, I do agree. I think T1 is still in a great position here, provided that they can...
Pace actually doesn't do a lot of damage.
Force Genji to go for an aggressive play. Now Gumyushi sitting on his IE spike, 2 items for Faker, 2 items for Zeus here as well. You're incredibly strong now.
Actually, Gumyushi really bad farm this game.
Nice little charm on Doran there, but he's pretty tanky at this point on his Cassante.
Like, in comparison to what they would usually have, like, he actually doesn't have a lot of farm.
Now, bearing vision here, T1 have to respond very quickly. Owner isn't here. And it's just a dance we're playing right now where neither team really wants to try to...
You can see how, like, scared T1 have to be here.
Means that the enemy team has to then group up and respond. You get a back timing.
If they throw this, it's over.
For these teams to actually go back and buy items right now. But if you mess up just once, you don't have vision.
If Jinx gets ahead, like ahead, it's over.
There are so many wards in this river for T1, and they are expanding their reach outward over and over again. You see that ward goes down, and now it's going to be a lot more distance that needs to be traveled to Genji, for Genji to get there. And it means every time that that mid wave is pushed up, the darkness
Teleport comes through.
just invades the territory of Genji. Is now
Chovy. Oh, that's really bad by Faker.
One could say knock up onto Pays. He gets ulted by Guma as well, but he's going to be able to walk it out. Has Delight there also, but Pays needs to be a little bit careful.
Faker not really finding the threat.
For the Jinx.
No, it's not like he doesn't feel as threatening as Chovy does. Beautiful buffer by Chovy.
Oh, good knock up there onto Pays as Everfrost is immediately cleansed flash. And now Faker looking for more. He finds another.
It's actually really good by Faker. Nice. But Doran also playing that insane. And it's over.
The Jinx is absolutely massive. Peanut may have gone too far forward, but T1's health bars are evaporating. moving towards
Yeah, it's
Baron.
over.
It's a Baron angle here, and there's just no way that T1 can contest it. They're just way too
LDR
much
is
damage
done.
here for Gen G, so this is just
Probably a
gonna go down
BF sword as well.
instantly. And what looked like a
Pace is so
potential
huge
blow
now,
there
there's
from
no
Faker.
stopping it anymore.
And
Lee
the
Sin is
angle
not going to provide enough value here. Lee Sin is absolutely
there
grief.
because it allowed Gen G to kite back and then punish
Absolutely
Faker's
grief,
aggression. They won't be able
dude.
to trade this for soul points, so consolation prize here for T1, but Gen G now in control of this game. As watch this ult from Peanut here, the angle he takes when Faker decides to go forward, it's so beautifully done. The buffer comes through. And I just have to say, Faker's always looking for these angles, but Peanut is punishing. And now you can kite back.
Yeah, Peanut's doing such a good job.
Regardless, and is punished properly.
Doran does such a beautiful job here, just taking out Lee Sin.
As he gets caught by the edge there of that Cyan, the cleanse flash is immaculate. And here it's
Yeah, it's actually not very well done by Pace to get tagged there, but
Pace, what it looked like.
And just look at him calling to follow for the chase here. So hyped. The guy is just not, he's not playing like a rookie. He looks like a veteran. We've been
He
saying
doesn't
this
even
the
look
whole
like he's in a
playoffs.
final.
Yeah.
Oh man, Pace very impressive as Jovi going to buffer the charm once
2 for
again.
2.
Not over yet by any means, but now with a Baron buff and with these two extraordinarily high-range carries, it's so difficult. Well, the Dom's now completed for Pace as well as Faker just dashes forward. They get another Nature's Grasp, but he doesn't have another Zhonya's, and it's a kill for Pace. Chovy now takes that as his moment to dive forward. Zeus just trouble for Pace. They get another Nature's
Wait, Faker just griefed.
completed for Pace as well. As Faker just dashes forward. They get another Nature's Grasp, but he doesn't have.
He clicked the wrong item.
And it's a kill for Pace.
Guys,
Chovy
Faker
now
clicked the
takes
wrong
that as
item.
his moment to dive forward. Zeus just trying to retreat.
Oh no, dude.
For any sort of engagement.
Oh lord.
Nothing to stop the onslaught on their
Oof. Oh, that's a. Oh, that's. Oh. Faker's gonna be mad at himself for a long time for that one, dude.
So much range on both of these 80 carries. They are not going to bite off more than they can chew, and I guess Gen G have some I's to dot and some T's to cross.
I mean, you consider the items that are picked up here, though, and all the money that's sitting on Chovy. I mean, they are about to explode this game, and I think that you could try to push an end here, but you've already gotten the mid inhibitor, which is going to guarantee you prio on subsequent objectives. And the way in which they set this up with a wraparound from Peanut, Faker is once again deciding to go in, realizes his mistake very early on, mid-dash, but it's too late.
What? He doesn't realize it mid-dash. During the dude, why? That was not a mistake during the dash.
Once again deciding to go in, realizes his mistake very early on.
Teleported on from inside their own base.
That's not fair.
Okay, Doran, Chovy in position on
Yeah,
the
they're
flank. He
dead.
doesn't exactly have any CC to offer, and he's now going to get stunned up.
Ooh!
Zeus with the flash.
My
He's
god,
gonna
I love
come
just
through.
Chovy.
There's the buster shot, and somehow Zeus not unstoppable while that happens.
Oh, Doran.
As
Oh,
now
Dor. Oh, Doran.
position. He's got
Oh, the
one
Lulu
kill,
ultimate.
but he's tanking for a long time, and
Oh
Vivek
my god.
and now
Okay.
finds the cleanse into the backline immediate. Cleanse
Ah, they're not able to push forward enough.
Kill for Ona. Chovy is dead, and Gen G.
Faker is not able to follow, or is he? No.
So eventually you do have to go back here as T1. You want to chase down and get
Guys, 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 guys.
TP.
Yeah, there's the teleport. What
Oh,
he lands
Owner.
as well as now Pace.
Oh no. Okay, 1 for 1.
Secure the kill, but he goes down in response. T1 back in control of the Rift, and I don't care what happens in this game. This series has been incredible.
It's been our best series in the finals we've had in a very long time, especially when you consider spring. As Gen G really overextending here, overplaying their hand. You could have just walked away from this and said, we got mid-prio, we're setting up for the next objective. We have such a nice lead now, but you've given T1 an avenue back into the game.
And this is the one angle you can't really deal with, which is Carrier blocking everything in a choke point. And Guma hits an absolutely impeccable ultimate. Continues being the sturdy backbone of T1. And then Owner able
Damn
to
it, dude.
get
If Honor was
T1
just a little bit stronger.
Yeah, beautiful cue from Owner. Pays, fights it back, has the shield coming through from Delight, and is able to trade back a kill. So small consolation prize for him, but at the end of the day, we're sitting on stopwatches here now for Gen G, and T1 get these kills, stay alive in this game, pick up a lot of money, but they're not able to turn this into a Baron. It's just expired. They're not able to turn it into a Drake. It spawns here in a minute.
Yeah.
So there's advantage still to Gen G in a lot of ways here, but T1 picking up so much needed gold.
Yeah, Soul Point is a big deal that T1 could be getting towards, but
Very
it
true.
comes back to what you were talking about, Chronicler, at the beginning of the game, and that is the fact that there are two hyper carries that outrange Gumayushi. And as this game goes on,
That's
we're
the problem.
Need to see so many more of these heroics from both Carrier getting into position to get that CC down perfectly, and Owner finding kicks into the backline. Onto either
T1
of these key carries.
like
Paze
positioning very aggressively here. This is really good for Paze though, as he has the wall for protection.
Genji standing their ground for now. It is so tense here on the Rift as Nature's Grasp used aggressively. Doran diving forward, trying to find the
Faker and Gumayushi in a pretty decent position here. Owner is out of position though. Ooh, that's not good. As T1 is actually pushed back here.
And Owner's going to be taken out. It's Paze locks down that one. And yes, he is getting excited. The charm not going to connect onto him either. Range just that little bit too high as the pesky turret in the way. And it looks like they're going to deny Soul Point before pressing further forward.
This is the type of flank play that you're set up as T1 to try to look for with the angle of the Braum. Being able to take everything, and you have the turn potential with this composition.
And this Jinx doesn't even have Infinity Edge, guys. This is an LDR.
Just will pop off. Toby will
Dude.
pop off.
And now, this might be the kills that get
Ridiculous.
IE, which is going to make the problem even worse. And this is what I think the core issue for T1 is that if they are the ones getting engaged on, if they're not the ones setting up reactive plays, they're going to struggle because the front to back for Genji is so good. But look at how do you hard engage if you're T1? It's a catch or nothing.
Owner's so far away.
We'll see whether we can get into this Baron pit as T1. Nature's Grasp just going to zone. And now the Scion going to be caught. The Q not going to be enough. Flame Chopper is going to come in.
I mean, he does live for a long time.
An explosive charge is going to do a Pace immediately diving
Faker has to flash out. Now Faker doesn't have any potential anymore.
Look for the kick flash, but Pace has a
Beautiful stopwatch, by the way, by Paze. It's actually the first time that I feel like Paze actually, like, you know, did a good job. And didn't just do like a, or did a really good job instead of just doing a good job.
I don't know if they can. They can't even get back.
Now Faker's struggling to recall here. At least the inhibitor as Respawn's going to buy a few more seconds.
Doran STP, but it's 30 seconds.
Well, Faker
What's
has
Genji gonna
Splash and
do?
he is alive as Chovy and Pace draw a bead. Now level 16 for Chovy. You see how much damage he is doing. Carrier trying to put that door up
my God.
in front of the Nexus.
It's over.
Genji, I think the upset may
Wow.
happen. The charm is going to connect, but it's onto Delight. So much damage for the Yuchi. He's found it. He found the moment. Oh my God, he does explode in the end, so it's not going to be T1 taking the game back, but it's not going to end here. My voice might die, but the Nexus will survive.
It looks like Doran's just going to decide to TP top here and grab some inner gold here and start opening up the map further with no Nexus turrets open. Every single turret you take is going to be a backdoor win condition. GA is picked up now for Paze. As any single kill, any single pick is just subsequent doom for T1. And now that Paze and Chovy are so fed in this game,
look at Paze.
even this stacked armor Scion
It's
is not
raining
gonna be
death
enough.
upon them.
Owner with the heroics here, and then Chovy looked like he might
This
be able
would
to
have
extend it.
caught like a worse AD carry out really hard. But honestly, it wasn't like,
That's more interesting.
I don't know.
Oh, man. Owner
The Lee
plays
Sin
so
pick,
well,
just
but Paze with
weird,
this one
man.
stopwatch that he now cannot have.
I get the idea, I just don't,
In
like,
this fight with Faker, it's a miracle they survived.
it's
Yeah,
so
the fact
hard
that
to
they're
do
able hold
anything
on
there.
here, It starts off with the charm flash, but that's bait. It's Guma flashing in point blank with Infernum. All that damage is more than enough, but like, is this enough?
He's
right?
got
Like,
4 items. I mean, if he's in range to hit him, he will kill everyone. But with the composition Genji has, it should be so difficult for him to get there.
Luckily for T1, because they went for the all-in here in mid and haven't been able to take out either inhibitor, it's really only the mid wave they have to deal with here. And Genji now, with no objective up, are going to have to kind of awkwardly split here to try to take more of the map away. The GA did complete after that last fight here for Pays, so he has 2 lives in this. And Genji just need to pick a lane and siege it. Eventually they will wear through T1's base.
Yeah.
Zhonya's coming back up for Faker, and I think he's going to be the one who has to make a heroic play here to save this game and get Guma.
I don't think Faker can make a heroic play. I don't think they have the follow-up.
It's not the most impossible tank to kill, but if you can get 1 pick onto one of these carries, 1 carry isn't going to rip through that armor as easily.
Yeah. Or if, like, Faker and Ona take 1 carry each and kill each one of them, would be a possibility here as well. But
definitely not with that owner build, though. Definitely not Atlas.
It's the range of T1. You're exactly right. There's also this, the zoning. As in front is the Scion. He's going to stand there, but look at this turret. It just evaporates. A massive Q from Doran. And it is the man that played so well in games 1 and 2 that's coming back here in game 3 to dominate
it's over.
T1. Ona down to his GA once again. Pays, he's down very, very low. But now the Nexus will be in the sights of Genji.
GG.
They couldn't take them down at all throughout the rest of it. And now,
holy shit.
the blood of T1. Pays has paved the golden road here in spring 2023.
Who would have expected? Dude, I'm sure a lot of people lost a lot of money here.
Monumental win for Genji. The biggest upset we've seen in LCK in years. And they do it on the backs of Doran, a player who underperformed all throughout playoffs, was considered the weak link for this team. And the bottom duo of players who've never been in the finals before. And Pays will be a royal roader, a rookie player who this split has looked dominant, gotten more kills than any other new rookie AD carry has ever gotten in their first season of LCK. And a well-deserved victory for a team that worked so hard to adapt across a grueling.
Honestly, I don't mind any of this.
They make the run through losers.
I really don't mind any of this. Like, T1 or Genji winning, honestly, this is just like... I would say this is just really good day performance by Genji and really bad day performance for T1. I think that's actually like different days. If you play this on like 100 different days, I think T1 wins. Like 60, 70 of them. Minimum.
Just a huge step up for so many players on Genji. And Pays lifts the LCK trophy first. And Genji defend their title. T1.
Now Chovy.
Spring finals.
They're gonna take their turns. Everyone's gonna lift at once. Peanut lifts last.
2 of them against T1. 1 of them against Damwon. And now finally hoisting the trophy.
It's the first time T1 has had an undefeated round robin in LCK and not wound up champions.
Wait, T1 didn't come over to thank them.
In a split of LCK.
That's actually kind of weird.
Walk home as champions tonight, the massive favorites, and it's a.
All right, well, shit, that just happened. So, in hindsight, the reason I wanted to watch this game is because a lot of people said that T1 like absolutely griefed it. And while I say that I think T1 could have played that much better, I think in comparison to what they can do, they griefed it, yes. I think this was a really, really good finals for a fucking spring split. And hey, all I can say, dude, T1's last year spring, you know, not that good. So yeah, and we also, of course, a lot of the champion pool, carrier's champion pool, was squished very hard with the last patch that went online and that they are playing on. Also something to consider. But yeah, overall, I would say the weakness here this time seemed to be just a lot of like weird coordination in the team. And then Zeus didn't seem to be just as animalistic as he usually is, and he played it a little bit too safe. And he didn't play it as safe enough. He played it a little bit too aggressive. and didn't end up having the mechanics that you would want. But absolutely amazing. Really good game. It was a lot of fun to watch them. And yeah, so you probably saw that on my YouTube. There was no other YouTube video today because I scheduled this stream instead. Tomorrow there's going to be a normal YouTube video again. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. And stay